Are you living your life by default, or are you creating it on purpose? Are you walking a path laid out for you by others, your family, your society, your circumstances, or are you forging your own? These aren't just philosophical questions, they are the most critical financial and life questions you will ever face. They get to the very heart of how you allocate your most precious resources, your time, your energy, and your money. For decades, maybe even your entire life, you've been conditioned to think about investment in a very specific way. You've been told to invest in stocks, bonds, mutual funds. You've been advised to buy real estate, to start a business, to seek out the next big cryptocurrency. The world around us is obsessed with these external assets, with accumulating things outside of ourselves in the hope that they will one day bring us the financial freedom we crave. But what if I told you that this is an incomplete picture? What if I told you that the single greatest return on investment you could ever hope to achieve has nothing to do with Wall Street, the housing market, or any entrepreneurial venture? What if the most powerful, most enduring, and most profitable asset isn't something you can buy, sell, or trade, but rather something you already possess? The truth is, the best investment you will ever make is in yourself. This isn't a cliché, it's a fundamental principle of wealth creation and a cornerstone of a fulfilling life. Think about it. When you invest in a stock, what do you really own? A tiny fraction of a company, subject to the whims of the market, the decisions of executives you'll never meet, and a global economy you cannot control. The company could boom, or it could bust. It could be a solid, long-term play, or it could be the next Enron. You are at the mercy of forces far greater than yourself. When you invest in real estate, you are buying a physical structure. It can appreciate, sure, but it can also depreciate. It requires constant maintenance, carries the risk of a market crash, and its value is inextricably linked to its location, its condition, and the overall health of the local economy. And a business can be the ultimate engine of wealth, but it's also a voracious beast that can consume every ounce of your time and energy, demanding constant attention and carrying a failure rate that would make most sane people run for the hills. Now let's turn the lens inward. What happens when you invest in yourself? When you invest in your education, you're not just buying a degree or a certificate, you are acquiring knowledge and skills that no one can ever take away from you. This is intellectual capital. It's an asset that appreciates with every new thing you learn, every new experience you have, every new problem you solve. A recession can wipe out your stock portfolio, a housing bubble can burst, but no economic downturn can ever devalue the wisdom you've gained or the expertise you've cultivated. Your mind is a fortress. It's the one thing that is truly yours, and the more you pour into it, the more it gives back. This is an investment with no market risk. Its returns are entirely within your control. Consider a recent college graduate struggling to find a job. They could spend their last few dollars on a high-risk stock, hoping for a quick win. Or they could use that same money to take an online course on a high-demand skill like data analysis or digital marketing. The stock might double, or it might go to zero. The skill, on the other hand, will never disappear. It will make them more marketable, increase their earning potential, and open doors to opportunities they never even knew existed. This isn't about hoping for a return, it's about creating one. It's about making a deliberate choice to become a more valuable person in the marketplace. But this isn't just about making more money. Financial prosperity is often a byproduct, not the primary goal. The ultimate return on investment in yourself is a life of purpose, meaning, and fulfillment. When you invest in your physical health, exercising, eating well, getting enough sleep, you aren't just building a strong body, you are building a resilient mind. You are increasing your energy levels, enhancing your cognitive function, and extending your runway to create, to earn, and to enjoy your life. A person with boundless energy and a clear mind can outthink and outwork a person with a bulging stock portfolio who is constantly sick and mentally drained. Think about a small business owner working 80-hour weeks. They have a successful business, but their health is failing, their relationships are strained, and they haven't taken a vacation in years. Their financial net worth might be impressive, but what is their life net worth? Is it truly wealthy? Now imagine that same business owner decides to invest in their mental health by learning to manage stress and delegate tasks. They invest in their physical health by hiring a personal trainer. They invest in their relationships by scheduling dedicated time with their family. In the short term, this might seem like a diversion from their business. They might even feel like they're losing time. But in the long run, this investment in themselves will make them a better leader, a more innovative thinker, and a more fulfilled human being. Their business will likely thrive because of it, not in spite of it. The ultimate ROI is a life that is rich in every sense of the word, financially, emotionally, spiritually, and relationally. This book is for everyone. It's for the student drowning in debt, wondering how they will ever get ahead. It's for the employee feeling trapped in a dead-end job, seeing their potential slowly fade away. It's for the entrepreneur burning the candle at both ends, chasing a dream that feels just out of reach. It's for the stay-at-home parent who has given so much to their family but feels like they've lost a piece of themselves. And yes, it's for the financially successful person who has all the trappings of wealth but still feels a profound sense of emptiness. No matter where you are on your journey, the principles of self-investment apply. They are a universal language of success and well-being. Take the example of someone struggling financially, living paycheck to paycheck. They hear about the stock market, but they have no spare cash to invest. They think, "This book isn't for me, I can't afford to invest." But that is precisely the point. Investing in yourself isn't always about money. It's about a shift in mindset. It's about recognizing that your greatest asset isn't your bank account balance, it's your capacity to learn, to grow, and to earn. The most impactful investment this person can make might not be buying a stock. It might be spending an hour each day learning a new skill on YouTube, reading a book from the library, or networking with people in a field they're interested in. These are all investments of time and energy, not money. The returns are not measured in dollars and cents, but in increased opportunities and a renewed sense of hope. Once they land a better paying job because of their new skills, they will finally have the spare cash to invest in those other things. This is how the cycle of upward mobility begins. It doesn't start with money, it starts with you. This is a powerful concept because it puts the power back in your hands. You don't have to wait for the next market rally. You don't have to hope for a bull run. You don't have to worry about interest rates or inflation. The most important variable in the equation of your life is you. You are the ultimate asset, and your potential for growth is limitless. A stock can only go so high. Real estate can only appreciate so much. But you can learn, grow, and evolve indefinitely. You can increase your capacity for earning, for creating, for loving, and for living a truly extraordinary life. Over the coming chapters, we're going to dive deep into what it truly means to invest in yourself. This isn't just about financial literacy, it's about life literacy. We will explore the different pillars of self-investment. This book is not about giving you a get-rich-quick scheme. It's not about telling you which stocks to buy or which houses to flip. It's about a fundamental and lasting transformation from the inside out. It's about empowering you with the knowledge, the tools, and the inspiration to become your own greatest asset. It's about building a life so rich, so full, and so resilient that no external force can ever truly threaten it. This is a journey. It will require honesty, self-reflection, and a willingness to step outside of what you've always been told. But I promise you, it will be the most rewarding journey you ever take. The first step is simply to believe that you are worth the investment. Everything else will follow. Let's begin. Chapter 1. The Psychology of Self-Worth. Have you ever wondered why two people, given almost identical starting points, can end up in vastly different places? One might soar to unimaginable heights of success and fulfillment, while the other remains stuck, perpetually battling the same frustrations year after year. Is it merely luck? Is it talent? Or is there something deeper, an invisible current that guides one towards opportunity and leaves the other adrift? This isn't a riddle, but a profound inquiry into the very architecture of our lives, an architecture built not with bricks and mortar, but with something far more potent, our psychology. Before you ever invest a single dollar in stocks, before you even consider dipping your toes into real estate or daring to launch that business idea simmering in the back of your mind, there is a more fundamental, more powerful investment you must make. It's an investment that underpins all others, shapes every decision, and ultimately determines the ceiling of your potential. I'm talking about investing in your self-worth, in your mindset, in that quiet, unwavering belief in who you are and what you are capable of achieving. Think about it. Have you ever hesitated to ask for that raise you deserved, not because you weren't qualified, but because a tiny voice inside whispered, "Who am I to ask for more?" Have you ever shied away from a lucrative opportunity, a challenging project, or even a meaningful relationship, convinced that you weren't good enough or smart enough or worthy enough? If these scenarios resonate, even faintly, then you've already encountered the silent, often destructive force of a diminished self-worth. This chapter is an invitation to explore that hidden landscape, to understand how your inner world directly sculpts your outer reality, and to discover why cultivating a robust psychology of self-worth is the most profitable endeavor you will ever undertake. Our society, in its relentless pursuit of tangible metrics, often overlooks the intangible. We celebrate financial gains, promotions, successful business exits, all external manifestations. But what if these external achievements are merely reflections, echoes of an inner state? What if the true leverage point, the ultimate fulcrum for shifting your financial and life trajectory, resides entirely within you? The truth, often uncomfortable and challenging to confront, is that wealth and fulfillment do not begin in the bank account or on the balance sheet. They germinate in the fertile soil of the mind. They sprout from the seeds of self-belief, nurtured by the conviction of your inherent worth. Let's dissect this concept of mindset. It's more than just positive thinking, which, let's be honest, can sometimes feel like a flimsy band-aid over deep-seated wounds. Mindset is the sum total of your beliefs, attitudes, and perceptions about yourself, the world, and your place within it. It's the invisible operating system running in the background of your life, processing every input, filtering every experience, and dictating every response. Are you operating on a scarcity mindset, convinced that resources are limited, opportunities are scarce, and you must fight tooth and nail for every crumb? Or are you running on an abundance mindset, understanding that possibilities are infinite, that collaboration trumps competition, and that there is more than enough for everyone, including you? Consider the story of Maria, a brilliant software engineer with a keen eye for detail and an uncanny ability to debug complex code. Her colleagues consistently sought her expertise, and her managers lauded her technical skills. Yet when promotion cycles came around, Maria would hesitate. She'd see others, perhaps less technically gifted but more outwardly assertive, climbing the corporate ladder with ease. Maria would tell herself, "I'm not a leader type, I'm more of a behind-the-scenes person." This wasn't a factual assessment of her leadership potential, which was considerable, but a narrative woven from years of internalizing subtle messages that being quiet and competent wasn't enough, that she somehow lacked the it factor. This self-limiting belief, born from a psychology that undervalued her inherent worth beyond pure technical skill, kept her stagnant for years, watching her peers surpass her, not because they were objectively better, but because they believed they were. Maria wasn't lacking opportunity, she was lacking the internal permission to seize it. This internal programming often begins early, shaped by our families, our cultural environments, and the media we consume. If you grew up in a household where money was a constant source of stress, where parents spoke of making ends meet and never having enough, it's incredibly challenging to develop an abundance mindset. You are subconsciously wired to perceive lack, to prepare for hardship, and to view wealth with suspicion or even resentment. Conversely, if you grew up in an environment where challenges were seen as opportunities, where learning was celebrated, and where resilience was modeled, your psychological infrastructure for success is naturally stronger. But here's the crucial point. This early programming is not your destiny. It's a starting point, not a finishing line. The beauty of investing in yourself, specifically in your psychology, is that you have the power to rewrite that code, to install a new operating system that serves your highest aspirations. Beyond mindset, there is the powerful engine of self-belief. This isn't arrogance, it's a quiet, deep-seated conviction in your own capabilities, your inherent value, and your potential to overcome obstacles. It's the knowing that even if you haven't done something before, you can learn, adapt, and eventually master it. When self-belief is absent, it manifests in insidious ways. It's the constant procrastination on projects that could elevate your career, the inexplicable self-sabotage right before a breakthrough, or the tendency to settle for less in relationships, in careers, in financial compensation, because a part of you doesn't truly believe you deserve more. Consider the aspiring entrepreneur, someone with a truly innovative idea that could revolutionize an industry. They spend countless hours refining their business plan, developing a prototype, and conducting market research. They have everything they need on paper, but when it comes time to pitch investors, to launch their product, or to hire their first employee, they freeze. They meticulously find reasons why it's not quite ready, or why someone else could do it better. This isn't about the viability of their business, it's about the fragility of their self-belief. They doubt their own capacity to lead, to execute, to succeed on such a grand scale. The market is hungry for their solution, the investors are willing to listen, but their own internal narrative acts as a powerful brake, preventing them from ever truly stepping into their potential. The biggest hurdle isn't the competition or the capital, it's the canyon of self-doubt within their own mind. And then there's confidence, which is self-belief in action. If self-belief is the internal conviction, confidence is the external expression of that conviction. It's the ability to walk into a room and command attention, not through arrogance, but through a genuine sense of self-assurance. It's the courage to speak your mind, to negotiate effectively, to take calculated risks, and to rebound from setbacks with resilience. A confident person doesn't necessarily know all the answers, but they trust their ability to find them. They don't fear failure as an end, they embrace it as a learning opportunity. Imagine two candidates interviewing for the same job. Both have similar resumes, comparable experience, and equivalent skill sets. One candidate speaks hesitantly, avoids eye contact, and downplays their achievements. The other, while equally humble, articulates their accomplishments clearly, maintains confident eye contact, and speaks with an energetic conviction about how they can contribute to the company. Who do you think gets the job? It's rarely about who is objectively better in terms of raw skills, but often about who projects a stronger sense of capability and self-worth. That projection, that outward display of confidence, is a direct currency in the marketplace. It opens doors, closes deals, and commands respect. This psychological dynamic is especially potent when it comes to financial outcomes. So many individuals remain trapped in cycles of poverty or financial stagnation, not because opportunities are entirely absent, but because their internal perception of themselves limits their ability to see, pursue, and sustain those opportunities. A person who believes they are inherently poor or unlucky will often subconsciously make choices that reinforce that belief. They might avoid educational opportunities, not see the value in investing in skills, or simply not bother negotiating for a higher salary because that's just how it is for people like me. Consider someone raised in a low-income community, surrounded by narratives of struggle and limitation. They might internalize the belief that wealth is for others, or that you have to be cutthroat to get ahead, which goes against their values. This powerful, often unconscious belief system acts as a barrier. Even if a promising opportunity arises, say a scholarship to a prestigious program, or a chance to start a small business with minimal capital, they might dismiss it, not because it's not real, but because it doesn't align with their deeply held, albeit limiting, self-perception. Their mindset has them believing the opportunity is not for them, or that they are not worthy of such a breakthrough. The external world might present an open door, but their internal world keeps it firmly shut. Culturally, we see this play out in various ways. In some societies, a strong emphasis on community and humility, while valuable, can sometimes inadvertently discourage individual ambition and the pursuit of personal wealth, especially if wealth is perceived as a betrayal of one's roots or a sign of selfishness. Breaking free from these deeply ingrained narratives requires a conscious and often courageous act of self-redefinition. It requires an investment in psychological liberation. Conversely, think of individuals who have risen from truly humble beginnings to achieve extraordinary success. What often distinguishes them? It's rarely a privileged background or an innate genius. More often, it's an almost audacious self-belief, an unshakable conviction that they deserve more, that they are capable of more, and that their circumstances do not define their destiny. They didn't wait for opportunities to be handed to them. They cultivated the inner state that allowed them to recognize, create, and seize those opportunities. They understood, perhaps intuitively, that their inner game had to be stronger than their outer challenges. The dividends of investing in your inner psychology are boundless and far-reaching, infinitely outperforming any stock market return or real estate appreciation. When you cultivate a strong sense of self-worth, you become more resilient in the face of setbacks. Rejection no longer feels like a personal indictment, but a piece of feedback. Failure becomes a lesson, not a definitive verdict on your capabilities. This resilience is a superpower in a world that constantly throws curveballs. It allows you to pivot, to adapt, to keep moving forward when others would crumble. Furthermore, a healthy mindset and robust self-belief lead to greater clarity in decision-making. When you are not constantly battling internal doubts and fears, your mind is free to focus on actual problems and solutions. You can assess situations objectively, make choices aligned with your values, and pursue goals with single-minded determination. This clarity translates directly into better financial decisions, whether it's choosing a career path, negotiating a salary, or deciding where to allocate your resources. Perhaps most profoundly, investing in your self-worth transforms your relationship with yourself and, by extension, your relationships with others. When you value yourself, you attract people who value you. You set healthy boundaries. You gravitate towards collaborative partnerships and mutually beneficial interactions rather than seeking validation or tolerating disrespect. This social capital, as we will explore in a later chapter, is an invaluable asset, opening doors and creating networks that amplify your potential in ways that money alone never could. This inner investment is not a one-time transaction, it's a lifelong commitment. It's about consciously nurturing your mindset, challenging limiting beliefs, and actively building your confidence brick by brick. It's an ongoing process of self-discovery, self-compassion, and self-empowerment. And while the journey may have its challenges, the rewards are immeasurable. They manifest not only in your bank account, but in the quality of your relationships, the depth of your joy, and the profound sense of purpose that permeates every aspect of your life. This journey into the psychology of self-worth is just the beginning. It's the foundational understanding, the blueprint for everything that follows in this book. In the next chapter, we will dive into the practical realm of how to actively build upon this psychological foundation through the most potent tool at your disposal, education. We will explore how continuous learning, beyond formal degrees, is the engine that transforms your potential into tangible results. But remember, no amount of external learning can fully take root and flourish without the rich soil of a strong internal belief system. So carry this awareness of your inner power with you as we turn the page and continue our exploration into becoming the ultimate ROI. Chapter 2: Education Beyond Schooling. In a world where you can learn almost anything from a device in your pocket, what does it truly mean to be educated? Is it the degree hanging on your wall? Is it the years you spent in a classroom listening to a professor lecture on a subject? Or is it something far more fluid, something that is never truly finished, but is instead a continuous, deliberate process? If we were to take an honest look at the world around us, at the dizzying pace of change, at the industries being born and dying in a single decade, we would have to admit that the education model we inherited from the 20th century is no longer sufficient. It was designed for a different world, a world of stability, of predictable career paths, and of knowledge that remained relevant for a lifetime. But that world is gone. The most successful people on earth, regardless of their field or their starting point, have one thing in common: They are not finished products. They are not content with what they learned in school. They view education not as a finite period of their lives, but as a lifelong commitment, a daily practice. They understand that the moment you stop learning is the moment you start to fall behind. This is the difference between schooling and true education. Schooling is a structured, often rigid system that provides a foundation. It teaches you to read, to write, to think critically, and to understand core concepts. But true education, the kind that leads to exponential growth and lasting fulfillment, is a self-driven, relentless pursuit of knowledge, skill, and wisdom. It is powered by curiosity, fueled by a desire to solve problems, and it never ever graduates. Think about a young person leaving college today. They may have a degree in a field that was cutting edge when they started 4 years ago. But what happens in a world where new technologies emerge overnight, where job descriptions shift almost annually, and where entire industries are upended by a single innovation? That diploma is not a shield against obsolescence. The skills that were valuable on their graduation day might be common knowledge a year later. The tools they mastered in their classes might be replaced by something faster, smarter, and more efficient. The only way to thrive in this reality is to become a constant learner, to treat your mind as a muscle that must be worked every single day. This is the ultimate investment, because it's the one thing that will never lose value. A degree can become outdated, but the ability to learn and adapt is a timeless asset. The difference between schooling and true education is the difference between being a passive recipient of information and an active seeker of knowledge. A school gives you a curriculum. Real education gives you the world as your classroom. It's the entrepreneur who teaches themselves to code by watching online tutorials because they have a product idea they want to build. It's the mechanic who spends their weekends learning about electric vehicle technology because they see the future of their industry. It's the stay-at-home parent who uses their free time to learn digital marketing skills to start a small business from home. These people are not waiting for a formal institution to grant them permission to learn. They are taking ownership of their own growth. They understand that the greatest opportunities today are not hidden behind ivy-covered walls, but are accessible to anyone with a Wi-Fi connection and the hunger to learn. Let's look at how this plays out across different walks of life. For the student, the traditional path of a 4-year degree is no longer a guaranteed ticket to success. The real advantage lies in what they do outside the classroom. Did they use their time to learn a valuable skill that wasn't on the curriculum? Did they network, start a side project, or create a portfolio of work that demonstrates their capability beyond a GPA? For the salary earner, the concept of a job for life is a relic of the past. The only way to ensure job security and career progression is to continuously upskill. This means learning new software, staying on top of industry trends, or even taking on responsibilities that are slightly outside their job description to learn new skills. This is how you make yourself indispensable. You become not just an employee but a problem solver, a source of innovation, and a valuable asset that is too costly to lose. For the aspiring entrepreneur, self-education is not an option. It is the single most important driver of success. The most successful founders didn't have all the answers from day one. They were relentless learners. They read voraciously, they sought out mentors, they listened to podcasts, and they experimented constantly. They understood that every setback was not a failure, but a data point, an opportunity to learn something new about their market, their product, or themselves. For someone striving to rise from poverty, this principle is particularly powerful. If you have no capital to invest in stocks or real estate, you still possess the most valuable asset, your mind. Investing in your education, whether it's learning a trade, acquiring a high-demand technical skill, or simply improving your communication skills, can provide a more direct and reliable path to financial stability than any other form of investment. Education is the ultimate equalizer. It doesn't care about your background, only about your determination. This brings us to the dual importance of both hard skills and soft skills. Hard skills are the technical, measurable abilities you need to do a job. Think of a carpenter, a coder, an accountant, or a data analyst. These skills are often the entry point to a new career. The good news is that acquiring them has never been easier. Platforms like Coursera, edX, and Udemy, along with countless free resources on YouTube, have democratized technical education. You can learn to code, design a website, or master a new language from the comfort of your home, often for a fraction of the cost of traditional schooling. But the truly extraordinary people, the ones who rise to the top of their fields, don't just possess technical prowess, they excel at soft skills. These are the human skills that technology cannot replicate. We're talking about creativity, critical thinking, emotional intelligence, leadership, and communication. A brilliant coder who cannot communicate their ideas effectively is less valuable than a good coder who can. An innovative entrepreneur who cannot lead a team with empathy will struggle to build a lasting company. These skills are often learned not in a classroom but through experience, through reading, through mentorship, and through a deliberate effort to understand people and problems on a deeper level. This is where real-life experience becomes the greatest teacher. Every conversation, every project, every failure is a chance to practice and refine these essential human qualities. Consider the analogy of a rapidly flowing river. The river is the market, the economy, and the global landscape, and it is moving faster than ever before. If you stand on the shore with a static degree and a fixed skill set, you will be left behind. The only way to navigate this river is to become adaptable, to learn to paddle, to change direction, and to ride the currents. The person who adapts and learns is the one who not only survives but thrives. Those who refuse to learn, who cling to what they have always done, will inevitably get left behind as the river of progress rushes past them. This is the reality facing every industry, from finance to manufacturing, from healthcare to the arts. The very tools and processes that made a company or an individual successful yesterday are no longer guaranteed to work tomorrow. Adaptability is not a luxury, it is a survival skill. In a world where knowledge doubles every 12 months, our value is no longer in what we know, but in our capacity to learn, unlearn, and relearn. Think about a student who is learning to code. It's not just about learning a specific language like Python or JavaScript. It's about learning the fundamentals of logic and problem solving. This makes them adaptable. If a new, more efficient language emerges in 5 years, they won't be starting from scratch. They will simply be applying the same fundamental principles to a new syntax. This is the power of true education. It gives you the mental frameworks to tackle any new challenge, no matter how foreign it may seem. To truly embrace this lifelong learning journey, you must cultivate a new kind of relationship with yourself. You must become your own teacher and your own student. This means setting aside time each day to read, to listen, to practice, or to experiment. It means having the humility to admit what you don't know and the courage to seek out the answers. It means seeing every person you meet as a potential source of knowledge and every experience as a potential lesson. It's about developing an insatiable curiosity that drives you to constantly seek out new ideas and new perspectives. The greatest innovators weren't necessarily the ones who had the most formal education, but the ones who asked the most powerful questions and weren't afraid to look for the answers outside the established norms. This investment in education beyond schooling is the most profound act of self-empowerment you can undertake. It is the key that unlocks all the other doors. It feeds directly into your financial growth by making you a more valuable asset in the marketplace. It fuels your personal fulfillment by expanding your horizons, introducing you to new passions, and giving you a deeper understanding of the world. It is the cornerstone of building a life of purpose and prosperity. As we move forward in this book, we will delve into other critical forms of self-investment, from your physical and mental health to your management of time and the cultivation of your social networks. But remember, all of these are amplified by the most fundamental investment of all, the continuous and deliberate expansion of your mind. Chapter 3. Health as Wealth. What if the most sophisticated, high-performing asset you possess isn't a stock portfolio, a piece of prime real estate, or even a thriving business venture, but something far more fundamental, far more intimate? What if the true bedrock of your ambition, the silent engine of your productivity, and the ultimate determinant of your financial and life outcomes is quite simply your health. We live in a world obsessed with external metrics of success: the size of your bank account, the title on your business card, the square footage of your home. Yet so often, we neglect the very vessel that carries us through this journey, the complex, miraculous machinery that makes all achievement possible. Have you ever considered the invisible toll that chronic fatigue, persistent stress, or unaddressed mental strain takes on your ability to earn, to innovate, to connect, and ultimately to live a life of true abundance? This isn't just a chapter about avoiding illness, it's about pursuing peak performance. It's about understanding that your physical vitality, mental clarity, emotional resilience, and carefully managed energy are not merely desirable attributes, but non-negotiable investments. They are the foundation upon which every other form of self-investment, every financial goal, and every aspiration for a fulfilling life must be built. Without a robust and well-maintained inner operating system, even the most brilliant mind or the most lucrative opportunity will falter. Think of your body and mind as a high-performance vehicle, finely tuned to navigate the complex terrains of your life. You wouldn't expect a Formula One race car to win championships if it was fueled with cheap, impure gasoline, had bald tires, or was running on a sputtering engine. Yet, how many of us demand peak performance from ourselves, expecting to outpace the competition, innovate new solutions, and achieve audacious goals, all while neglecting the very fuel, maintenance, and mechanics of our being? We run on poor sleep, processed foods, chronic stress, and a constant barrage of digital distractions, then wonder why our focus wanes, our creativity stalls, and our financial progress feels like an uphill battle. The truth is, neglecting your health isn't just a personal choice. It's a direct assault on your potential and, by extension, on your financial future. The connection between health and wealth goes far beyond the obvious medical bills that pile up when you get sick. While those costs can certainly derail financial progress, the more insidious effects are the invisible ones: the lost productivity, the diminished decision-making capacity, the stifled creativity, and the eroded resilience. Imagine a young student burning the midnight oil, cramming for exams on energy drinks and junk food. They might scrape by, but at what cost? Their brain isn't operating optimally. Their memory retention is compromised, their critical thinking skills are dulled, and they are building habits that will serve them poorly in their future career. They might save a few dollars by not buying healthy groceries, but they are paying a far higher price in terms of their long-term academic and professional success. Their health isn't just affecting their grades, it's affecting their earning potential for decades to come. Or consider a seasoned entrepreneur, brilliant and driven, but constantly battling chronic stress and sleep deprivation. They might be pulling off incredible feats, closing deals, and expanding their business empire. But beneath the surface, the engine is sputtering. Their decision-making becomes impulsive, their patience wears thin, and their ability to innovate slowly erodes. They might attribute their irritability to the pressures of business, but often it's a direct consequence of a body and mind pushed beyond their sustainable limits. This isn't just about feeling good, it's about maintaining the sharpness, the clarity, and the emotional intelligence required to lead, to negotiate, and to adapt in a fiercely competitive landscape. Their health isn't merely a personal concern, it's a critical component of their enterprise's longevity and profitability. Let's break down the pillars of this essential self-investment: physical fitness, mental well-being, and energy management. First, physical fitness. This isn't about chasing an unrealistic aesthetic ideal. It's about cultivating the raw, unadulterated energy and stamina that allows you to show up fully in every aspect of your life. Regular exercise, whether it's lifting weights, running, swimming, or simply brisk walking, does far more than build muscle or burn calories. It's a powerful stimulant for your brain, increasing blood flow, enhancing cognitive function, improving memory retention, and sharpening your focus. It's also a potent antidote to stress, releasing endorphins that naturally elevate mood and reduce the impact of cortisol, the notorious stress hormone. For the student, a regular exercise routine can mean the difference between struggling to concentrate during lectures and absorbing information with ease. It can mean reduced test anxiety and better academic performance. For the salary earner, Consistent physical activity translates into more sustained energy throughout the workday, fewer sick days, and a greater capacity to handle pressure, making them more valuable and promotable. For the entrepreneur, physical fitness provides the resilience needed to weather inevitable setbacks, the mental fortitude to make difficult decisions, and the sheer stamina to endure the long hours required to build something from the ground up. Imagine having an extra 2 hours of high-quality focused energy each day because you prioritized your physical health. What could you accomplish with that? What ideas could you generate? What problems could you solve? That's an ROI that far outstrips any market gains. It's not an expense, it's the premium fuel for your ambition. Next, consider mental well-being. In an increasingly complex and demanding world, the strength of your mind is arguably your most critical asset. This encompasses managing stress, cultivating emotional balance, and fostering psychological resilience. Unchecked stress and anxiety are silent saboteurs, slowly eroding your capacity for clear thought, creative problem-solving, and effective communication. They can lead to burnout, poor decision-making, and strained relationships, both personal and professional. Think of the person who constantly worries about money. Their anxiety isn't just an emotional burden, it can physically manifest as a persistent, low-level drain on their cognitive resources. This mental noise makes it harder to identify opportunities, to strategically plan their finances, or to confidently negotiate for better terms. Their mind, instead of being a tool for creation and prosperity, becomes a prison of fear and limitation. Practices like mindfulness, meditation, journaling, or seeking professional support through therapy aren't luxuries, they are essential maintenance for your most valuable processing unit, your brain. By investing in your mental clarity and emotional regulation, you are investing in your ability to think strategically, to lead with empathy, to bounce back from failure, and to approach challenges with a calm, focused determination. This is the mental fortitude that separates those who merely survive from those who truly thrive. A stable mind makes for stable decisions, which over time translates into a more stable and prosperous life. Finally, we must talk about energy management. This goes beyond simply getting enough sleep, though sleep is undeniably paramount. Energy management is the art and science of understanding your personal biological rhythms, fueling your body optimally, and strategically allocating your physical and mental resources throughout the day to maximize productivity and well-being. Many of us confuse busyness with productivity, constantly pushing ourselves to the brink, believing that more hours automatically equals more output. But often, it's the quality of our energy, not just the quantity of our time, that dictates our results. What you eat, for example, is not just about taste or hunger. It's about providing the right fuel for your brain and body. A diet rich in whole, unprocessed foods provides sustained energy, stable blood sugar, and the essential nutrients for optimal cognitive function. Conversely, a diet of sugar and refined carbohydrates leads to energy crashes, brain fog, and irritability, directly impacting your ability to focus and make sound decisions. Consider the entrepreneur who relies on coffee and sugary snacks to power through their day. They might feel a temporary surge, but they are constantly battling energy troughs, making them susceptible to impulsive choices and diminished long-term vision. Energy management also involves strategic breaks, understanding when to push and when to rest, and ensuring proper recovery. The most effective performers aren't working non-stop. They are working in focused bursts, followed by deliberate periods of rest and rejuvenation. This cycle of intense effort and deep recovery is what allows for sustained peak performance without burnout. For students, this means studying effectively in blocks rather than all-night cram sessions. For salary earners, it's about taking micro breaks, moving your body, and stepping away from your screen to recharge. For everyone, it's about recognizing that your energy is a finite resource that must be cultivated and protected. When you manage your energy wisely, you gain more hours of high-quality, productive time, leading to greater output and ultimately greater returns on all your efforts. This concept of health as wealth is universally applicable. For the student, investing in good sleep, nutritious food, and stress-reducing activities isn't a distraction from their studies. It's a direct investment in their academic performance, their ability to learn, and their long-term career prospects. They will have more focus, better memory, and greater resilience to face academic pressures. For the salary earner, prioritizing health means showing up to work with clarity and energy, being more productive, less prone to burnout, and better equipped to handle workplace challenges. This translates into better performance reviews, increased opportunities for promotion, and a higher earning ceiling. It's also a powerful safeguard against costly sick days and the even more debilitating effects of chronic work-related stress. For the business owner or entrepreneur, health is the ultimate leverage. The demands of launching and scaling a venture are immense, requiring sustained creativity, relentless problem-solving, and unwavering resilience. A healthy entrepreneur has the physical stamina for long hours, the mental clarity for strategic decisions, and the emotional fortitude to navigate the inevitable ups and downs. Their well-being directly impacts their ability to lead, to innovate, and to attract and retain talent. Even for those struggling financially, the concept of health as an investment is profoundly empowering. While a gym membership or organic food might seem like luxuries, there are countless free or low-cost ways to invest in health: walking, bodyweight exercises, cooking simple nutritious meals, practicing mindfulness, and leveraging community resources. The energy and mental clarity gained from even these small investments can be the catalyst that allows someone to pursue a new skill, find a better job, or break free from a cycle of poverty. Preventing a major health crisis, which often leads to insurmountable debt in many parts of the world, is an economic strategy in itself. And for the wealthy, who often have the means to outsource many of life's challenges, health remains the one asset that cannot be bought directly with money. They might afford the best doctors or personal trainers, but the discipline, the self-care, and the commitment still come from within. For them, health ensures they can continue to enjoy their success, sustain their impact, pursue new passions, and avoid the tragic irony of having accumulated immense financial wealth only to be too ill or depleted to truly experience it. So, let's reframe how we view health. It's not an expense to be minimized or a luxury to be indulged in only when convenient. It is the most critical, highest-yielding investment you will ever make. Every healthy meal, every workout, every moment of conscious breath, every night of restorative sleep is a deposit into your future. It's a deposit that pays dividends in the form of increased energy, sharper focus, greater resilience, enhanced creativity, and ultimately, a more prosperous and fulfilling life. Your body and mind are your most valuable assets. Treat them as such. As we move forward, understanding the profound impact of your internal state will be critical. In the next chapter, we'll turn our attention to another equally vital, yet often squandered resource: your time. For what good is abundant energy and a sharp mind if you don't effectively direct them? We will explore how mastering time management is not about doing more, but about doing what truly matters, further amplifying the returns on your investment in yourself. Chapter 4. Networking and Social Capital. Have you ever stood at the threshold of a life-changing opportunity, a dream job, a critical investment, a pivotal partnership, only to realize that no amount of money or individual skill alone could open the door? What if the key to unlocking those elusive breakthroughs wasn't found in your bank account or your resume, but in the strength of your connections, the depth of your reputation, and the unspoken currency of trust you've cultivated with others? We often speak of investments in purely financial terms: stocks, bonds, real estate, but there exists a form of capital far more powerful, more resilient, and often more valuable than any monetary asset: social capital. It's the aggregated value of your relationships, the network of people you know and who know you, the trust you've built, and the willingness of others to help, share, and collaborate. In a world increasingly driven by interconnectedness, neglecting this crucial investment is akin to building a house without a foundation. It might stand for a while, but it will inevitably crumble under pressure. This isn't about transactional networking, the kind that feels forced, awkward, and disingenuous. It's not about collecting business cards like trophies or approaching people with a hidden agenda. True social capital is built on authenticity, reciprocity, and a genuine desire to connect, to learn, and to contribute value to others. It's an investment that compounds over time, quietly appreciating in value, often providing returns precisely when you least expect them, and in ways that money simply cannot buy. Money can purchase access to certain rooms, but it cannot buy genuine respect, unwavering loyalty, or the spontaneous generosity that flows from a truly meaningful connection. Think of it this way: your financial assets are like seeds you plant in fertile soil, hoping they will grow into a harvest. Your social capital, however, is the rich, interconnected ecosystem that nourishes that soil, protects your crops from blight, and provides the necessary rainfall. Without that ecosystem, even the most promising seeds might struggle to flourish. The most successful individuals, the ones who seem to effortlessly navigate challenges and seize opportunities, rarely do it alone. They are almost always at the center of a vibrant web of relationships, a network of support, advice, and mutual assistance that acts as an invisible safety net and a powerful springboard. Let's consider the journey of a young, aspiring professional fresh out of college, perhaps burdened by student loan debt and eager to make their mark. They might have exceptional grades and a gleaming resume, but the job market is fierce. They send out hundreds of applications online, hoping their qualifications alone will speak for themselves. This is often a lonely and frustrating path. Now imagine a peer with similar academic achievements, but who has spent their college years actively engaging in clubs, volunteering, attending industry events, and genuinely connecting with professors, alumni, and guest speakers. When this second student applies for jobs, their resume might land on the desk of someone who already knows their name, who remembers their enthusiasm, or who has heard a positive recommendation. That warm introduction, that pre-existing trust, that human connection can cut through hundreds of anonymous applications faster and more effectively than any perfect GPA. The opportunity wasn't bought with money, it was earned through invested time, genuine interest, and the cultivation of social capital. This principle extends far beyond job searching. For the established employee looking to climb the corporate ladder, internal networking and building a strong reputation are paramount. It's not enough to simply do your job well. You must be known, respected, and trusted by your colleagues, your managers, and even those in other departments. When a new project arises or a leadership role opens up, who gets considered? Often, it's not just the person with the most impressive track record on paper, but the person whose name comes up in conversation, the one people instinctively trust, the one who has shown a willingness to help others, and whose counsel is valued. This informal influence, this social currency, is accumulated through countless small interactions, offering help without being asked, genuinely listening to colleagues' concerns, sharing credit, and being a reliable and positive presence. It's an investment in your personal brand within the organization, an investment that pays off in promotions, increased responsibility, and greater influence. For business owners and entrepreneurs, social capital is quite literally the lifeblood of their ventures. A brilliant idea or a superior product can only go so far without a network to support it. Who will be your first customers? Who will introduce you to investors? Who will offer mentorship when you face an insurmountable problem? Who will champion your cause and spread the word about your business? These are all questions answered by the strength of your relationships. Imagine an entrepreneur trying to raise capital for their startup. They could cold email venture capitalists for months with little to no success. Or they could leverage a connection, a former colleague, a university mentor, a family friend who can make a warm introduction to an investor who trusts their judgment. That introduction, built on years of shared history and mutual respect, can cut through the noise and get their pitch heard when money alone would only buy them an ignored email. This is why many successful entrepreneurs spend as much time cultivating their network as they do refining their product. They understand that people, not just capital, build businesses. Social capital also serves as an incredible safety net, particularly for those striving to rise from challenging circumstances. When you have limited financial resources, your network can provide invaluable support that money often cannot. It could be a friend offering a spare room during a difficult period, a neighbor lending a tool you can't afford to buy, a community leader connecting you with job training programs, or a mentor providing guidance that helps you avoid costly mistakes. These are not handouts, they are the natural returns on investments made in genuine human connection, in being a good neighbor, a supportive friend, or an active member of your community. For someone navigating scarcity, having a strong, reliable network can be the difference between spiraling into despair and finding the hand up they need to keep moving forward. It offers emotional support, practical assistance, and access to information and opportunities that might otherwise be completely out of reach. Even for the wealthy, who might appear to have every door open to them through financial means, social capital plays a critical role in finding deeper meaning, impact, and even protecting their existing assets. Money can buy luxuries, but it often cannot buy genuine trust, authentic friendships, or discerning advice. In high-stakes financial dealings, who do wealthy individuals trust for unbiased counsel? Often, it's not the person paid to give advice, but the long-standing confidante, the peer whose judgment they respect, or the mentor whose wisdom transcends market fluctuations. Furthermore, many wealthy individuals seek to make a positive impact on the world through philanthropy or social entrepreneurship. Here, social capital becomes paramount. It's about building relationships with community leaders, non-profit organizations, and other philanthropists to pool resources, share insights, and create a collective impact that far exceeds what any single individual could achieve. The desire for connection and purpose remains, regardless of one's financial standing, and true social capital facilitates these deeper forms of fulfillment. How then does one invest in social capital? It begins with a fundamental shift in mindset, moving away from a transactional view of relationships towards one of genuine value exchange. Instead of asking, "What can this person do for me?" the question becomes, "How can I genuinely help this person? What value can I offer? What can I learn from them?" This outward-focused approach is the bedrock of authentic relationship building. Listening is a powerful, yet often overlooked investment. When you truly listen to someone, not just waiting for your turn to speak, but actively absorbing their words, their concerns, their aspirations, you are demonstrating respect and building trust. This simple act creates a bond that opens the door for deeper connection. Adding value consistently is another key component. This could be as simple as sharing a relevant article with a colleague, making an introduction between two people who could benefit from knowing each other, offering a word of encouragement, or providing constructive feedback. These small, consistent acts of generosity build up a reputation as someone who is helpful, knowledgeable, and reliable. Authenticity is non-negotiable. People can sense insincerity from a mile away. Trying to be someone you're not, or feigning interest, will ultimately backfire and erode trust. Be yourself, be genuine in your curiosity, and allow your true personality to shine through. The right people will gravitate towards that authenticity. Follow-through is also critical. If you promise to do something, do it. If you offer help, deliver on it. Consistency and reliability are the twin pillars of a strong reputation, and your reputation is a significant component of your social capital. Consider the story of a young artist named Lena, struggling to get her work noticed. She spent years perfecting her craft in solitude, believing her talent alone would eventually open doors. But the art world, like any other, thrives on connections. Eventually, a mentor encouraged her to start attending local gallery openings and art fairs, not just as a spectator, but as an active participant. Lena, a naturally introverted person, found this daunting, but she shifted her mindset. Instead of trying to sell her art, she focused on genuinely complimenting other artists' work, asking thoughtful questions about their process, and sharing her own passion without expectation. Slowly, she began to build genuine connections. She met other artists, gallerists, and collectors. One gallerist, impressed by Lena's sincerity and the quality of her work, offered her a small exhibition space. This wasn't a connection Lena paid for. It was a relationship built on shared passion, mutual respect, and the consistent offering of her authentic self. That single opportunity, born from social capital, launched her career in a way years of solitary work never could have. Building social capital also means cultivating a diverse network. Don't just connect with people who are exactly like you or who are in your immediate industry or social circle. Seek out individuals from different backgrounds, different professions, different age groups. These diverse perspectives will enrich your understanding of the world, expose you to new ideas, and provide unexpected opportunities. A lawyer might find common ground and invaluable insights from a chef. An engineer might gain a fresh perspective from a philosopher, and a student might learn more from a retired executive than from any textbook. The strength of your network isn't just in its size, but in its diversity and the richness of its connections. Finally, remember that social capital is an investment that requires ongoing maintenance. Relationships, like gardens, need to be watered and tended. This means periodically checking in with people, offering support when they need it, celebrating their successes, and simply nurturing the connection. It's not about waiting until you need something to reach out. It's about consistently being a valuable and supportive presence in the lives of others. This long-term view transforms networking from a chore into a fulfilling aspect of life, enriching you with friendships, collaborations, and a sense of belonging that transcends any material gain. Investing in your social capital is a direct extension of investing in yourself. It recognizes that you are not an island and that your greatest potential is often realized in collaboration with others. It builds on the foundation of self-worth and continuous learning that we've already discussed, allowing you to leverage those internal strengths in an outward-facing way. As you cultivate genuine connections, build trust, and offer value to your network, you create a powerful flywheel of opportunity that spins faster and faster over time. These are the doors that money can't always buy, the pathways to growth that are illuminated by the light of human connection. The returns are immeasurable, often manifesting as unexpected collaborations, invaluable mentorship, emotional support during challenging times, and a pervasive sense of belonging that enriches your life in profound ways. In the next chapter, we will shift our focus to perhaps the most finite and democratic resource we all possess: time. For without mastering the art of managing your time, even the strongest network and the most brilliant mind will struggle to reach their full potential. Chapter 5: Financial Literacy as Self-Investment. What if I told you that the secret to financial freedom isn't found in a hidden stock tip, a miraculous real estate deal, or a single brilliant business idea, but in something far more fundamental, more accessible, and profoundly within your control? What if the difference between a life of financial struggle and one of abundance boils down to a quiet, often overlooked investment: your understanding of money itself and the daily habits you cultivate around it? For too long, financial matters have been shrouded in a veil of complexity, whispered about in hushed tones, or worse, deemed an exclusive domain for the financially savvy or the already wealthy. This perception, perhaps more than any economic downturn, keeps countless individuals trapped in cycles of anxiety, scarcity, and stagnation. But the truth is, financial literacy is the ultimate self-investment, a foundational pillar that underpins every other form of growth we've discussed so far. Without a solid grasp of how money works, how to manage it, how to make it grow, and how to protect it, even the most robust self-worth, the most impressive education, the most vibrant health, and the most expansive social network will struggle to reach their full potential. Money, at its core, is simply a tool, a medium of exchange, a store of value, and a facilitator of choices. Like any powerful tool, it can build magnificent structures or, wielded ignorantly, it can cause immense destruction. This chapter is about equipping you with the knowledge and the mindset to wield that tool masterfully, transforming it from a source of stress into a catalyst for freedom and fulfillment. Think about a brilliant architect. They possess an incredible mind, a robust education, and a network of skilled builders. But if they don't understand the fundamental properties of the materials they're working with, the strength of steel, the curing time of concrete, the impact of moisture on wood, their grandest designs might crumble. Money is your building material for life. If you don't understand its properties, how it flows, how it compounds, how debt can erode it, how inflation can diminish it, then your financial dreams, no matter how ambitious, will remain precarious. This isn't just about making more money, it's about making the money you earn, the money you save, and the money you invest work for you, rather than against you. The journey to financial independence begins not with a windfall, but with understanding your money. This means knowing where every dollar comes from, and crucially, where every dollar goes. It sounds simple, almost painfully obvious, yet it's a step many people skip, choosing instead to operate in a fog of financial ambiguity. They might check their bank balance periodically, but they don't truly track their spending. This lack of awareness is a silent killer of wealth, allowing small, insidious leaks to drain financial potential over time. Consider the student living on a tight budget. They know their student loan disbursements or part-time job earnings, but they don't meticulously track their daily coffees, takeout meals, or impulsive online purchases. At the end of the month, they wonder where all their money went, feeling perpetually broke despite a seemingly adequate income. Now imagine that same student commits to tracking every expense for just 1 month. They might discover they're spending an astonishing amount on things they don't truly value. This isn't about deprivation, it's about awareness. It's about gaining control, making conscious choices, and aligning their spending with their values and goals. This simple act of budgeting, or rather mindful spending, is an investment in clarity, giving them a roadmap to allocate their limited resources effectively, perhaps even finding extra funds to invest in a valuable online course or a health-promoting meal plan. Next, we move to the foundational principle of saving. For many, saving feels like a punishment, a deferral of immediate gratification. But when reframed as an act of self-investment, it becomes a powerful act of self-care and future empowerment. Saving isn't just about having money for a rainy day, it's about building a security buffer, a personal emergency fund that provides peace of mind and resilience against life's inevitable curveballs. Imagine a salary earner who diligently saves 10–15% of every paycheck, building up an emergency fund covering 6 months of living expenses. When an unexpected car repair bill arrives, or they face a temporary job loss, they don't panic. They don't resort to high-interest credit cards. They tap into their savings, knowing they've invested in their own financial stability. This allows them to make clear-headed decisions during stress, rather than desperate ones. But saving isn't just for emergencies, it's for future opportunities. It's for that down payment on a home, that investment in a new business venture, or that sabbatical to learn a new skill. When you save with a purpose, you are actively funding your future self, empowering them to seize opportunities that money can indeed buy. This habit, cultivated consistently over time, transforms scarcity into choice, worry into security, and deferral into eventual freedom. Then there's the often dreaded topic of debt management. Not all debt is created equal. Good debt, like a reasonable mortgage or a student loan for a high-value education, can be an investment in appreciating assets or increased earning potential. It's a calculated risk with a clear return. But bad debt, typically high-interest consumer debt like credit card balances, is a destructive force that can quickly spiral out of control, eroding your financial foundation and siphoning away your future earnings. Consider the entrepreneur with a brilliant idea, but who has accumulated a mountain of credit card debt from previous ventures or personal spending. This debt doesn't just represent money owed, it represents a psychological burden, a constant drag on their creativity and risk-taking capacity. Every decision they make is influenced by the weight of those high-interest payments. Contrast this with an entrepreneur who has meticulously paid off their bad debt, perhaps by consolidating, negotiating, or simply living frugally for a period. They might have taken longer to get to their next big idea, but when they do, they approach it with a clear mind, unburdened by financial anxiety, and with the freedom to take calculated risks that can lead to exponential growth. Investing in aggressively paying down bad debt is often the highest guaranteed return you can get, as it frees up cash flow and reduces the psychological load, allowing you to focus your energy on wealth creation. Once you've mastered the art of understanding your money, saving diligently, and managing debt, you arrive at the exciting frontier of investing. For many, investing feels like a dark art, accessible only to those with advanced degrees in finance. But at its core, investing is simply putting your money to work, allowing it to grow over time through the power of compounding. This is perhaps the most magical concept in finance, often described as the eighth wonder of the world. It means earning returns not only on your initial investment, but also on the accumulated interest or gains from previous periods. Imagine two individuals. One, a young employee who starts investing just $100 a month in a broad market index fund at age 25. The other, an equally diligent employee, waits until age 35 to start investing $200 a month. Assuming the same modest annual return, the person who started earlier with less money will likely have significantly more wealth by retirement age, purely because of the longer compounding period. Time, not market timing, is your greatest ally in investing. This lesson resonates with everyone, from the student who can start with small amounts in a Roth IRA to the wealthy individual who understands that consistent long-term investing, rather than speculative gambles, is the bedrock of enduring wealth. Investing in basic financial instruments like diversified index funds or low-cost ETFs is an act of profound self-investment. It's trusting in the long-term growth of the global economy and, by extension, in your own future prosperity. It transforms you from a consumer of resources into an owner of assets. Beyond traditional investments, a critical component of financial literacy in today's world is the ability to build multiple income streams. The idea of relying on a single employer for your financial well-being is increasingly precarious. Industries are disrupted, jobs are automated, and economic downturns can strike without warning. True financial resilience comes from diversification, not just in your investments, but in your sources of income. Think of an established professional, perhaps a marketing manager, who has spent years climbing the corporate ladder. They might have a good salary, but they rely entirely on that single paycheck. If their company faces layoffs, their entire financial world could be upended. Now imagine that same professional decided to invest in their skills, as we discussed in Chapter 2, to build a side hustle, perhaps consulting for small businesses on their marketing or even teaching online courses in their area of expertise. This isn't just about earning extra cash, it's about building an additional layer of financial security. If the main job disappears, they have a fallback, a buffer, and potentially a launch pad for a new career path. For the student, multiple income streams could mean tutoring, freelance writing, or selling handmade crafts online. For the stay-at-home parent, it could be virtual assistant work or running an e-commerce store. For anyone striving to climb the economic ladder, it's about identifying skills you have or can easily acquire that others are willing to pay for. This proactively reduces risk and significantly accelerates wealth accumulation. It's a testament to the power of continuous learning and leveraging your unique talents to create value in the marketplace, directly tying into your overall self-investment strategy. Ultimately, all these aspects, understanding money, saving, managing debt, investing and diversifying income, are underpinned by the mastery of money habits. Your financial destiny is not determined by a few grand decisions, but by the countless small, consistent actions you take every single day. The person who consistently saves a percentage of every paycheck, who regularly reviews their budget, who automatically invests each month, and who actively seeks out new income opportunities, is building a financial fortress brick by brick. The person who consistently overspends, accumulates high-interest debt, avoids learning about investing, and relies solely on a single income stream is conversely constructing a house of cards. Consider a story from my own life, or perhaps one that's universally relatable. I knew a talented artist, brilliant in their craft, but perpetually broke. They believed money was not their thing, and that focusing on finances would stifle their creativity. They lived paycheck to paycheck, often selling their incredible art for far less than it was worth, unable to negotiate effectively due to a subconscious belief that artists should suffer for their art. After hitting rock bottom, they finally decided to invest in financial literacy. They started reading books, listening to podcasts, and taking a basic online course in personal finance. It wasn't about becoming a financial guru, it was about understanding the fundamentals. They learned to track their expenses, set aside money for taxes, and even dared to open a small investment account. This small investment in financial knowledge transformed their relationship with money. They started valuing their time and their art more, negotiating higher prices, and building a buffer that allowed them to create without constant financial pressure. Their art didn't suffer, it flourished, freed from the chains of scarcity. This transformation wasn't about a magic bullet, it was about shifting habits and building financial muscle, one small rep at a time. It's about replacing reactive spending with proactive planning, financial anxiety with informed decision-making, and a sense of powerlessness with genuine control. This is the heart of financial literacy as self-investment. It empowers you with the knowledge and the discipline to become the architect of your own financial future, rather than a passenger at the mercy of external forces. This journey of understanding and mastering your money is an ongoing one, but it is one of the most rewarding investments you will ever make in yourself. It provides the freedom to pursue your passions, to support your loved ones, to give back to your community, and to live a life on your own terms. It's the practical application of your self-worth, your education, your health, and your social capital, allowing them to truly blossom. In the next chapter, we will delve deeper into another crucial aspect of self-investment, the mastery of your most finite and democratic resource, time. For what good is all this knowledge and financial potential if you cannot effectively manage the hours in your day to bring your aspirations to fruition? Chapter 6. Time, the most valuable asset. Have you ever truly stopped to consider the finite nature of your existence, not in some morbid philosophical sense, but in the most practical, actionable way possible? What if the true measure of your wealth isn't the number in your bank account, the value of your assets, or the size of your empire, but rather the precious, irreplaceable hours you have left to live, to create, to love, and to contribute? We casually toss around phrases like "time is money," yet this common adage barely scratches the surface of time's profound value. Money, as we've already explored, can be earned, lost, and earned again. It can multiply, diminish, and be rebuilt from scratch. But time? Time moves in one direction only. Every second that ticks by is gone forever, a non-renewable resource that cannot be stockpiled, borrowed, or replicated. It is the ultimate equalizer, parceled out to every human being on the planet in precisely the same measure each day, regardless of their status, their history, or their aspirations. The profound truth is, how you choose to invest this finite currency of moments determines everything else about your life's trajectory. For far too long, many of us have treated time as an inexhaustible commodity, an endless ocean of moments stretching out before us, readily available for casual consumption. We let it slip through our fingers on low-value activities, digital distractions, and the comfortable yet unproductive haze of procrastination. We fill our calendars to the brim, confusing busyness with progress, and then wonder why our most cherished goals, that business idea, that creative project, that deeper connection with loved ones, that personal health milestone, remain stubbornly out of reach. This chapter is not merely an exercise in productivity hacks. It is a direct challenge to your current relationship with the most valuable asset you possess. It is an invitation to reclaim ownership of your life, to wield your 24 hours with surgical precision, and to unlock a level of impact and fulfillment that is currently lying dormant, waiting for your intentional investment. The true cost of squandered time isn't just a lost moment, it's a lost opportunity, an unwritten chapter, an unfulfilled dream. This concept, often termed opportunity cost in economics, takes on a deeply personal meaning when applied to your time. Every minute you spend engaged in an activity that does not align with your highest values or your most ambitious goals is a minute you could have spent on something that truly matters. Imagine a young student who dedicates countless hours to mindlessly scrolling through social media or playing video games. The immediate gratification might be satisfying, but the opportunity cost is immense. Those hours could have been invested in mastering a complex subject, learning a new language, networking with potential mentors, or even just getting quality rest to enhance their cognitive performance. Over weeks, months, and years, these seemingly small daily decisions compound, creating a vast chasm between the student who makes intentional choices and the one who lets time simply pass them by. One builds a foundation for an extraordinary future, while the other wakes up years later wondering where all the time went. This brings us to the indispensable art of prioritization. In a world that constantly bombards us with demands, notifications, and an ever-growing to-do list, the ability to discern what truly matters from what merely feels urgent is a superpower. Most people operate from a reactive stance, allowing the loudest or most immediate demand to dictate their actions. They respond to every email instantly, answer every phone call, and attend every meeting, regardless of its true importance. This leads to a life spent putting out fires, always busy, always stressed, but rarely moving the needle on the initiatives that truly define their purpose. The most effective time investors, however, operate from a place of deep intentionality. They understand that not all tasks are created equal. They identify the few high-impact activities that, when completed, will produce disproportionately large results. This often aligns with the Pareto principle, or the 80-20 rule, which suggests that 80% of your results come from 20% of your efforts. The challenge lies in identifying that crucial 20% and then having the discipline to focus on it relentlessly. For an aspiring entrepreneur, this might mean dedicating their prime working hours not to administrative tasks, but to developing their core product or making sales calls. For an employee seeking advancement, it could mean carving out time for strategic planning or skill development, rather than getting bogged down in endless email chains. Prioritization is not about doing more, it's about doing the right things, and often doing far fewer things with greater focus and intensity. It demands clarity of vision and the courage to make difficult choices about how to allocate your most precious resource. Hand in hand with prioritization is the often uncomfortable but absolutely essential skill of saying no. In a culture that often equates busyness with importance and willingness to help with virtue, declining requests can feel rude or selfish. Yet every yes you give to a low-value request is a no to a high-value opportunity, a no to your own growth, and a no to your most cherished aspirations. Think of your time as a finite container. Every commitment you accept, every meeting you attend, every favor you grant, fills that container. If you fill it with other people's priorities, there will be no room left for your own. Consider a highly sought-after professional, perhaps a consultant, who constantly receives requests for quick coffee chats or a bit of free advice. Each individual request seems small, harmless even, but accumulated over a week or a month, these seemingly minor commitments can consume hours, fragmenting their focus and preventing them from dedicating deep work to their paying clients or their own professional development. Learning to politely but firmly decline these requests or to redirect them to a more appropriate resource is a powerful act of self-preservation and a direct investment in your capacity to deliver high-value work. This isn't about being unhelpful, it's about being strategically helpful, ensuring your generosity is directed where it can have the greatest impact without compromising your own critical priorities. Saying no is a fundamental act of protecting your time and, by extension, your future. Once you've prioritized and protected your time, the next critical step is focus. In our hyper-connected, notification-driven world, sustained focus is becoming a rare commodity, yet it is the engine of all meaningful accomplishment. The human brain is not designed for constant multitasking. It excels at deep, uninterrupted work on a single task. Every time you switch between tasks, checking an email, responding to a text, then returning to your primary project, your brain incurs a context-switching cost. It takes time and mental energy to reorient itself, to reload the relevant information, and to regain momentum. These small, frequent interruptions erode your productivity, diminish the quality of your work, and extend the time it takes to complete complex tasks. Imagine a seasoned author attempting to write a pivotal chapter of their novel. They sit down, ready to delve into the narrative, but every few minutes, their phone buzzes, an email notification pops up, or a social media alert beckons. Each tiny interruption pulls them out of their creative flow, forcing them to restart the arduous process of rebuilding their mental model of the story. The chapter that should have taken 2 hours might now take 4, and the quality of the writing might suffer due to fragmented attention. This is why eliminating distractions is not a luxury, it is a necessity for anyone serious about multiplying their results. This means creating dedicated blocks of deep work time, turning off notifications, closing unnecessary browser tabs, and even physically removing yourself from distracting environments. It's about training your mind to concentrate intensely on one task for an extended period, allowing you to access a state of flow where creativity soars and complex problems yield their solutions. Investing in your ability to focus is investing in your capacity for high-quality output and accelerated mastery. But what about the sheer volume of tasks that genuinely need to get done, particularly for business owners or those with significant responsibilities? This is where the power of delegation and leverage becomes absolutely essential for growth. Many individuals, especially those with an entrepreneurial spirit, fall into the trap of believing they must do everything themselves. This can stem from a desire for control, a belief that if you want it done right, do it yourself, or a reluctance to invest in others. However, a person who is doing everything is effectively limiting their own capacity for growth. Their time becomes the bottleneck, preventing them from focusing on strategic initiatives, innovation, or expansion. Consider a talented chef who starts a small, successful restaurant. In the beginning, they do everything: cooking, ordering supplies, managing staff, handling the books, and even cleaning. While admirable, this approach is unsustainable for growth. If they want to open a second location or even improve the existing one, they must learn to delegate. They must train a sous chef to manage the kitchen, hire an accountant for the books, and empower a front-of-house manager to oversee customer service. By investing their time in training and trusting others, they leverage the time and skills of their team, freeing up their own invaluable hours to focus on menu development, marketing, or scouting new locations. This isn't about laziness, it's about strategic resource allocation. For an employee, delegation might mean empowering a junior colleague with a new responsibility, thereby freeing up your own time for a higher-level project that will get you noticed for a promotion. The ability to effectively delegate is a hallmark of leadership and a powerful multiplier of your personal impact. The most profound return on this investment in time management comes from the concept of compounding results over time. Just as a small financial investment grows exponentially over decades, consistent, intentional time investments yield disproportionately large rewards. Think of the individual who commits to learning a new language by studying for just 30 minutes every day. In a year, they will have accumulated over 180 hours of study. Over 5 years, that's 900 hours, enough to achieve fluency. This isn't a miraculous leap, it's the steady, unwavering power of compounding. The same applies to building a business, mastering a skill, improving your health, or nurturing relationships. Small, consistent efforts, compounded over time, inevitably lead to extraordinary outcomes. The challenge lies in the discipline to make those small, consistent investments day after day, year after year, especially when the immediate gratification is absent. It's about understanding that every hour invested wisely today is a deposit into a future self who will be richer in skill, experience, and opportunity. Many great people throughout history understood this implicitly. Benjamin Franklin, a polymath who excelled as a statesman, inventor, and writer, was a master of time. He famously scheduled his days meticulously, dedicating specific blocks to reading, work, and reflection. He didn't just drift through his hours, he designed them. This intentionality allowed him to achieve an astonishing breadth of accomplishments. His impact wasn't just a result of his intellect, but of his relentless, focused investment of time. He knew that even small, consistent efforts in learning or self-improvement, compounded daily, would lead to monumental results over a lifetime. This chapter is a call to action, a provocative nudge to re-evaluate your most precious possession. It's meant to spark a sense of urgency, not panic, but a deep, empowering realization that your time is all you truly own, and how you invest it defines your legacy. You may feel overwhelmed by the thought of completely overhauling your schedule, but remember the power of small, consistent steps. Start by identifying just one high-value task you can commit to for a protected block of time each day. Practice saying no to one low-priority request this week. Turn off notifications for just 1 hour. These small acts of defiance against the tyranny of distraction are profound investments in your future self. Mastering your time is not about squeezing more into your day, it's about extracting more value from the hours you have been given. It's about aligning your actions with your aspirations, transforming busyness into purpose, and reclaiming the agency over your own life. This investment in mindful time management is perhaps the most fundamental act of self-empowerment, enabling you to build upon the psychological foundations, the educational pursuits, the health optimizations, the relational investments, and the financial acumen we've discussed. It is the engine that drives your entire journey of self-investment. As we continue to explore the multifaceted nature of investing in yourself, remember that every subsequent investment, be it in your environment, your habits, or your emotional intelligence, will be amplified by your mastery of this ultimate, irreplaceable asset, your time. Chapter 7. Resilience and Emotional Intelligence. Life, as we all inevitably discover, is not a smooth, uninterrupted ascent. It is a jagged landscape filled with unexpected valleys, precipitous cliffs, and sudden disorienting storms. No matter how meticulously you plan, how diligently you work, or how wisely you invest your money, time, or energy, you will encounter setbacks. You will face disappointments, failures, rejections, and crises that threaten to derail your progress and test the very core of your being. The question, then, is not if these challenges will arrive, but how you will respond when they do. Will you crumble under pressure, allowing adversity to define and diminish you? Or will you possess that almost mystical quality, that inner strength that allows some individuals not just to weather the storm, but to emerge from it stronger, wiser, and more capable than before? This profound ability to bend without breaking, to rebound from life's inevitable blows, and to grow through discomfort is what we call resilience, and its indispensable partner in navigating the complexities of human existence is emotional intelligence. Together, they form an unparalleled investment in yourself, one that guarantees returns not just in your financial life, but in the enduring quality and richness of your entire journey. We often mistakenly view setbacks as terminal failures, definitive verdicts on our capabilities. A business venture collapses, a job opportunity falls through, a relationship ends, a financial market tumbles, or a personal health crisis emerges, and we interpret these events as crushing defeats. But for the resilient individual, a setback is merely a data point, a detour, or a temporary fall that provides the impetus for a powerful comeback. It's the tree that sways violently in a hurricane, shedding some branches, but ultimately maintaining its roots and standing firm, ready to sprout new growth. The tree that lacks resilience, however, snaps under the same force, its journey abruptly ended. The world, particularly in its current state of rapid change and uncertainty, demands this inner fortitude. Without it, even the most brilliant mind, the most extensive education, or the most robust financial portfolio can be swept away by an unforeseen tide. Resilience is not some innate trait reserved for a select few. It is a muscle that can be developed and strengthened through deliberate practice and a conscious shift in perspective. It stems from a profound understanding that adversity is not an exception to life, but an inherent part of it, and that within every challenge lies a hidden seed of opportunity for growth. This is where emotional intelligence becomes not just a complementary skill, but the very scaffolding upon which resilience is built. Emotional intelligence, often referred to as EQ, is the capacity to understand and manage your own emotions and to perceive and influence the emotions of others. It's a multifaceted skill set that directly impacts your ability to navigate the emotional landscape of life, turning potential crises into moments of profound learning and connection. Let's delve into the key components of emotional intelligence, understanding how each contributes to building unbreakable resilience and fostering a life of peak performance. The first, and perhaps most fundamental pillar, is self-awareness. This is the ability to accurately recognize and understand your own emotions, strengths, weaknesses, values, and goals. It's the internal radar that alerts you to your emotional states, allowing you to ask, what am I feeling right now? Why am I feeling this way? What triggers these reactions in me? Without self-awareness, you are a ship without a rudder, tossed about by emotional currents you don't understand. You might lash out in anger without knowing why, or make impulsive financial decisions driven by fear without recognizing the underlying emotion. Consider a young entrepreneur facing a significant funding rejection. Without self-awareness, they might spiral into despair, attributing the rejection to their inherent inadequacy, leading to demotivation and potentially abandoning their dream. With self-awareness, however, they might recognize the sting of disappointment, acknowledge the natural frustration, but also identify other emotions, perhaps a subtle fear of success they hadn't realized they harbored, or a tendency to take criticism too personally. This understanding allows them to process the emotion rather than being consumed by it. It enables them to objectively review the feedback, adjust their approach, and come back stronger, rather than letting a momentary setback define their trajectory. Self-awareness is the bedrock, because you cannot manage what you don't recognize within yourself. Flowing directly from self-awareness is self-regulation, the ability to manage your emotions and impulses effectively. This is where you move from merely recognizing your feelings to choosing your response. It's the pause between stimulus and reaction, a crucial space where wisdom resides. A resilient person with strong self-regulation doesn't suppress emotions, they acknowledge them and then consciously decide how to act. They don't let anger dictate a rash email or fear lead to a premature retreat. Instead, they can take a deep breath, gain perspective, and choose a more constructive course of action. Imagine an employee who receives harsh criticism from their boss, delivered in a less than ideal manner. An individual lacking self-regulation might immediately react defensively, perhaps arguing back or stewing in resentment, damaging their relationship with their superior and potentially their career. Someone with strong self-regulation, however, might feel the sting of the criticism but choose to pause. They might take a moment to cool down, then calmly schedule a follow-up conversation to seek clarification, understand the feedback constructively, and discuss how to improve. This measured response turns a potentially destructive encounter into an opportunity for learning and professional growth. This capacity to control one's emotional responses is a powerful investment, saving you from countless impulsive mistakes and enabling clearer, more strategic decision-making in the face of stress. Another critical component of EQ, often overlooked, is internal motivation. This isn't about external rewards like money or status, but about an intrinsic drive to achieve, to improve, and to persevere through challenges. Resilient individuals are often fueled by a deep-seated purpose, a passion that transcends immediate setbacks. They don't give up when things get tough because their drive comes from within, from a sense of meaning that is far more enduring than any fleeting external validation. For the person striving to rise from poverty, this internal motivation is a powerful engine, pushing them through systemic barriers, daily struggles, and moments of profound discouragement. They might not have external resources, but they possess an indomitable spirit, a belief in a better future that compels them forward. Then there is empathy, the ability to understand and share the feelings of others. This is not about sympathy, which is feeling for someone, but about genuinely feeling with someone, walking in their shoes. Empathy is crucial for building meaningful relationships, for effective leadership, for negotiation, and for fostering collaboration, all vital aspects of social capital, as we discussed in Chapter 4. When you can understand the perspective and emotions of others, you can communicate more effectively, resolve conflicts more smoothly, and build alliances that support your goals. Consider a business owner trying to negotiate a deal with a difficult client. Without empathy, they might approach the negotiation purely from their own self-interest, leading to a standoff. With empathy, however, they might take the time to truly understand the client's underlying concerns, their fears, and their priorities. By addressing these unspoken needs, they can build trust, find common ground, and craft a solution that works for both parties, turning a potentially adversarial situation into a win-win partnership. This isn't just being nice, it's a strategic investment in human connection that often yields superior outcomes and strengthens your reputation. Finally, the fifth pillar of emotional intelligence is social skills, or relationship management. This encompasses effectively navigating social situations, building rapport, influencing, inspiring, and managing conflict. It's the outward manifestation of all the other EQ components, allowing you to translate your internal understanding into effective external action. A resilient leader with strong social skills can rally their team after a significant project failure, fostering a sense of shared purpose and moving everyone forward. A student with good social skills can navigate group projects, negotiate disagreements, and build friendships that provide crucial support during stressful academic periods. These skills are invaluable for networking, mentorship, and building a supportive community around you, all crucial components of long-term success and well-being. The combined power of resilience and emotional intelligence is particularly evident in how effectively individuals handle stress and challenges. Stress is an inevitable part of life, a natural response to demands placed upon us. But prolonged, unmanaged stress, what we call distress, can be debilitating. It impairs cognitive function, damages physical health, erodes relationships, and leads to poor decision-making. A person with high EQ doesn't avoid stress. They recognize it, understand its source, regulate their physiological and emotional responses, and adapt their strategies to cope. Think of a major financial crisis, perhaps a significant market downturn that impacts investments or threatens job security. An individual lacking resilience and EQ might fall into panic, making impulsive decisions driven by fear, selling assets at a loss, or lashing out at loved ones. Their mind is clouded by overwhelming emotion, rendering them incapable of rational thought. In contrast, someone with strong resilience and EQ might feel the initial shock and anxiety, but their self-awareness allows them to recognize these emotions. Their self-regulation enables them to pause, take deep breaths, and avoid immediate reactive choices. They might then leverage their social skills to connect with trusted advisors or mentors for informed perspective, and their empathy allows them to support family members who are also struggling. They reframe the challenge not as a catastrophe, but as a test of their financial strategy and their emotional fortitude, eventually finding a path forward, perhaps even identifying new opportunities amidst the chaos. They grow stronger, not just financially, but psychologically, because of the challenge. This is the difference between being crushed by stress and being refined by it. This dynamic duo of resilience and emotional intelligence directly cultivates adaptability, a skill paramount in our fast-changing world, as we discussed in Chapter 2. A resilient person with high EQ is inherently more adaptable because they can adjust their emotions, their thinking, and their strategies in response to new information, unexpected changes, or disruptive events. When an industry shifts or a technology renders old skills obsolete, the adaptable individual doesn't cling rigidly to the past. They can acknowledge the loss, manage their frustration, and then pivot, learning new skills and embracing new approaches with an open mind. They see change not as a threat, but as an ongoing opportunity for evolution and growth. This proactive flexibility ensures not just survival, but thriving in an environment where static approaches are quickly rendered obsolete. The return on investment in resilience and emotional intelligence is profound and touches every aspect of your life. For students, navigating academic pressures, social dynamics, and the uncertainty of future careers demands strong EQ. It helps them manage exam anxiety, collaborate effectively on group projects, handle rejection from competitive programs, and build meaningful friendships that provide emotional support. It's the ability to bounce back from a poor grade, learn from the experience, and adjust their study habits for future success. For employees, these skills are increasingly vital for career progression. Workplace politics, difficult colleagues, project failures, and the constant demand for new skills all test one's emotional fortitude. An employee with high EQ can effectively communicate with diverse teams, manage conflict constructively, lead with empathy, and navigate organizational changes with grace. They become valuable assets, not just for their technical skills, but for their ability to foster positive work environments and drive collaborative results. Their resilience allows them to weather professional setbacks and emerge stronger, often leading to promotions and greater influence. For entrepreneurs, resilience and EQ are non-negotiable. The entrepreneurial journey is a relentless gauntlet of rejections, failures, and unforeseen obstacles. Funding might fall through, products might flop, and market conditions can shift overnight. The ability to persist, to learn from every setback, to motivate a team through difficult times, to negotiate with investors, and to empathize with customers is what separates successful founders from those who burn out. Their resilience ensures they keep showing up, and their emotional intelligence enables them to adapt, persuade, and build the critical relationships necessary for survival and growth. Even for those facing significant financial struggles, resilience and EQ are often the most powerful tools available. The daily stresses of scarcity, the constant barrage of negative news, and the systemic barriers can be emotionally exhausting. Resilience provides the mental fortitude to keep seeking opportunities, to persevere through setbacks, and to maintain hope. Emotional intelligence helps in managing the frustration, building supportive networks, navigating difficult conversations about resources, and making rational decisions even under immense pressure. It's the ability to find inner strength when external resources are limited. And for the wealthy, these skills are not just about accumulation, but about purpose, impact, and sustained well-being. Managing vast wealth often comes with complex family dynamics, high-stakes decisions, and the challenge of maintaining genuine connections. High EQ helps in fostering healthy relationships, leading philanthropic endeavors effectively, discerning trustworthy advice, and avoiding complacency. Resilience ensures they can navigate economic downturns or unexpected personal challenges without losing their sense of purpose or their capacity for clear judgment. It helps them to use their wealth to create lasting value rather than becoming enslaved by it. Ultimately, investing in your resilience and emotional intelligence means investing in your capacity to thrive no matter what life throws your way. These are not static traits you either have or don't. They are dynamic skills that can be cultivated and honed throughout your lifetime. They represent a commitment to understanding yourself, mastering your inner world, and effectively engaging with the outer world. They transform challenges from insurmountable obstacles into powerful catalysts for growth, making you stronger, smarter, and more capable with every experience. This profound internal investment allows you to not just survive the inevitable storms of life, but to dance in the rain, knowing that you possess the inner resources to weather any challenge and emerge with greater wisdom and strength. As we move forward, we will explore how these internal strengths can be further amplified by the environment you cultivate around you, for even the most resilient individual benefits from a supportive ecosystem. Chapter 8. Branding yourself for success. What if the most potent magnet for wealth, opportunity, and impact isn't the size of your inherited fortune, the prestige of your alma mater, or even the brilliance of your latest idea, but something far more personal, more pervasive, and profoundly within your power to cultivate? What if the silent, ceaseless conversation happening in the minds of others about you, your skills, your character, your reliability, is a currency more valuable than any dollar, euro, or yen? We live in an age where information travels at light speed, where a single tweet can launch a career or shatter a reputation, and where our digital footprints precede us into every room, real or virtual. In this hyper-connected world, the concept of personal branding is no longer a luxury reserved for celebrities or corporate titans. It is an absolute necessity, a strategic investment in yourself that dictates the doors that open, the opportunities that present themselves, and the level of influence you can wield. For too long, the idea of personal branding has been misunderstood. often dismissed as superficial self-promotion or a narcissistic pursuit of fame. But to view it this way is to fundamentally miss its profound power. A well-crafted personal brand isn't a facade you put on, it's the authentic articulation and consistent demonstration of your unique value, your expertise, your character, and your mission in the world. It's the story people tell about you when you're not in the room. It's the sum total of your reputation, your credibility, and your influence, all meticulously cultivated and strategically leveraged. And when done genuinely, investing in your personal brand becomes one of the most intelligent and highest-yielding investments you will ever make in yourself, attracting wealth and opportunities that money alone simply cannot buy. Think of it like this. Every major company in the world, from Apple to Nike, invests billions in its brand. Why? Because their brand is more than their logo. It's the promise they make to their customers. It evokes trust, quality, and a specific set of values. People pay a premium for a strong brand because it signals reliability and a known quantity. You too are a brand. Whether you consciously shape it or not, people form perceptions about you based on every interaction, every email, every social media post, every decision you make, and every project you deliver. The choice isn't whether to have a brand, but whether to manage it actively and intentionally, or to let it be shaped by default, by chance, or by others' interpretations. The person who neglects their personal brand is essentially leaving their most potent marketing tool unsharpened, allowing countless opportunities to slip through their grasp. Let's delve into why this investment is so utterly critical in today's landscape. Firstly, a strong personal brand is a powerful magnet for wealth. Consider a highly skilled software engineer. They might have exceptional coding abilities, but if no one knows who they are beyond their immediate team, or if their online presence is non-existent, their market value is significantly diminished. Now, imagine an equally skilled engineer who actively shares their insights on technical blogs, speaks at industry meetups, contributes to open-source projects, and consistently provides valuable advice in online forums. They build a reputation as an expert, a thought leader. When companies are looking to hire, or when headhunters are searching for top talent, who do you think gets noticed first? It's the branded individual. Their reputation precedes them, often commanding higher salaries, more attractive equity packages, and more desirable roles. Their personal brand has essentially pre-qualified them, reducing the risk for potential employers and increasing their perceived value. This applies equally to business owners. In an increasingly crowded marketplace, a strong personal brand can differentiate a solopreneur or a small business founder from hundreds of competitors. Clients don't just buy products or services, they buy into people. They buy into trust, expertise, and a relatable vision. A graphic designer who shares their creative process, their philosophy, and their personality on a consistent basis attracts clients who resonate with their style and values, often allowing them to charge premium rates. Their brand acts as a filter, attracting ideal clients and repelling those who aren't a good fit, saving immense amounts of time and frustration. For the individuals striving from humble beginnings, a well-defined personal brand built on a strong work ethic, a commitment to learning, and a positive attitude can be the fastest ticket to gaining respect, trust, and ultimately opportunities that transcend their initial circumstances. Their brand becomes their advocate, speaking volumes before they even open their mouth. Beyond wealth, a strong personal brand is an undeniable attractor of opportunities that money cannot buy. These are the doors that open due to warm introductions, unexpected invitations, and the sheer force of your reputation. Think about an aspiring author. They might spend years writing a brilliant manuscript, but getting it published or noticed by readers is an entirely different challenge. Now imagine that author has spent years cultivating a personal brand around their expertise, building an audience online, consistently sharing insights, and demonstrating their passion for a particular subject. When their book is ready, they don't just have a manuscript, they have a platform, a pre-existing readership, and a built-in network of advocates. Publishers are far more likely to take a chance on an author who already has an established brand and audience. Similarly, for a student, A strong personal brand built through volunteer work, extracurricular achievements, and a thoughtful online presence can lead to scholarships, internships, and mentorship opportunities that might otherwise be invisible. These are opportunities that are not listed on job boards or accessible through cold calls. They are extended through relationships, trust, and the magnetic pull of a well-articulated identity. This leads directly to the concept of influence. Influence is not about manipulation, it's the ability to inspire action, to persuade, to lead, and to move people and ideas forward. It's the natural byproduct of a strong reputation, deep credibility, and genuine authenticity. When you have a clear personal brand, people know what you stand for, what expertise you bring, and what values guide your decisions. This clarity fosters trust. When people trust you, they are more likely to listen to your ideas, follow your lead, and support your initiatives. A community leader with a strong personal brand for integrity and dedication can mobilize volunteers, raise funds, and advocate for change far more effectively than someone whose intentions are unclear or whose reputation is inconsistent. Their influence doesn't come from a position of power, but from the consistent demonstration of their character and commitment. So, how do you invest in building such a powerful personal brand? It begins with a deep dive into self-awareness. Just as we explored in Chapter 7, understanding yourself is the foundation of everything. What are your core values? What unique skills, experiences, and perspectives do you bring to the table? What problems do you genuinely love to solve? What impact do you want to have on the world? Your personal brand is not something you invent, it's something you discover and then strategically amplify. For a student, this might mean identifying a unique blend of academic interests and extracurricular passions that sets them apart. For an experienced professional, it's about articulating the niche where their expertise truly shines and where they want to make their biggest contribution. This honest self-assessment is the first crucial step. Once you have that clarity, the next step is consistency in communication and action. Your brand is built not on what you say you are, but on what you do and how you show up repeatedly. Every email you send, every meeting you attend, every project you complete, every interaction you have is a data point contributing to your brand. Do your actions align with your stated values? Is your messaging consistent across different platforms, your LinkedIn profile, your resume, your social media presence, and your in-person interactions? Inconsistency erodes trust and confuses your audience. If you claim to be an expert in innovation but never share new ideas, or if you champion work-life balance but are always responding to emails at 2 a.m., your brand message becomes muddled and ultimately loses its power. Consistency builds credibility, signaling to the world that you are reliable and that your brand promise can be trusted. Authenticity is also non-negotiable. In an age of curated online personas and manufactured images, genuine authenticity stands out. People are craving real connection, not polished perfection. Trying to be someone you're not, or adopting a brand that doesn't genuinely reflect your personality and values, is exhausting to maintain and ultimately unsustainable. It will feel inauthentic to others, leading to a lack of trust. Your brand should be an amplification of your true self, not a fabrication. This doesn't mean sharing every private detail, but it does mean letting your unique voice, your passions, and your quirks shine through. For an aspiring entrepreneur, this might mean showcasing the raw, vulnerable journey of building a startup, rather than just the highlight reel. For an employee, it could involve bringing their unique perspective to team discussions, rather than always conforming to the safest opinion. This courage to be authentic is a powerful magnet, attracting people who resonate with your true self and want to invest in your genuine vision. A critical aspect of building your personal brand is visibility, but not just any visibility. Strategic visibility. It's not about being everywhere, but about being present in the places where your target audience, be it potential employers, clients, collaborators, or mentors, can find and experience your value. This could involve speaking at industry conferences, publishing articles in relevant publications, online or offline, actively participating in professional communities, contributing to open-source projects, or creating valuable content on platforms like LinkedIn, YouTube, or a personal blog. The goal is to consistently offer value, to share your expertise, and to demonstrate your insights, positioning yourself as a credible voice in your chosen domain. Consider the story of a seasoned mid-level manager, Jane, who felt stuck in her career despite her experience. She performed her job well, but was largely invisible outside her department. After reflecting on her unique expertise in project management, she decided to start sharing practical tips and case studies on LinkedIn. She didn't seek immediate gratification. She consistently posted once a week, responding thoughtfully to comments and engaging with others' content. Over time, she built a following of peers and industry leaders. She was eventually invited to speak at a small online webinar, which led to a larger conference, and eventually, a book deal. More importantly, when a senior leadership position opened up in a new high-growth division of her company, her internal reputation was suddenly amplified by her external brand. Her executives had seen her thought leadership online. She was no longer just Jane from accounting. She was Jane, the project management expert. This newfound visibility and credibility, built over consistent effort, directly led to her promotion, an opportunity she might never have secured through internal channels alone. Finally, and perhaps most importantly, remember that investing in your personal brand is not a one-time project. It's an ongoing process of evolution and adaptation. The world changes, your skills evolve, and your interests may shift. Your personal brand must adapt with you. This means regularly reviewing your brand message, seeking feedback from trusted sources, and being willing to refine your narrative as you grow. Just as companies refresh their branding to stay relevant, you must be prepared to evolve yours. This commitment to continuous self-reflection and adaptation ensures that your brand remains authentic, compelling, and aligned with your highest potential. Investing in your personal brand, therefore, is an investment in your future self, a strategic effort to shape how the world perceives your value. It leverages your self-awareness to define your unique proposition, your education to build credibility, your health to sustain the energy needed for visibility, your social capital to amplify your message, and your mastery of time to consistently cultivate and refine your identity. It is the bridge between your internal capabilities and the external opportunities awaiting you. By intentionally building a strong, authentic, and consistent personal brand, you don't just hope for success, you actively attract it, pulling towards you the wealth, connections, and influence that allow you to manifest your ultimate ROI. As we move into the next chapter, we will shift our focus from external perception to internal environment, exploring how the spaces you inhabit and the systems you create profoundly impact your daily actions and ultimately your ability to achieve your goals. Chapter 9. The Ripple Effect. From self to society. Is the ultimate purpose of personal success merely to accumulate wealth, achieve status, or secure comfort for oneself? Or does true fulfillment, the kind that resonates deep within your soul, come from something far grander, something that transcends individual achievement and extends its reach into the lives of others, into the fabric of community, and into the very future of society? We've spent chapters exploring the profound benefits of investing in yourself, cultivating self-worth, pursuing relentless education, safeguarding your health, building robust social capital, mastering your finances, optimizing your time, developing unshakable resilience, and meticulously crafting your personal brand. Each of these investments yields powerful, quantifiable returns in your own life. But to stop there would be to miss the most magnificent aspect of this journey, the ripple effect. It is the almost magical phenomenon where your personal growth doesn't just transform your life, it generates waves of positive change that radiate outwards, touching your family, inspiring your community, and ultimately contributing to a legacy that extends far beyond your own lifetime. This chapter is a profound shift in perspective, moving from the intensely personal "what's in it for me" to the deeply impactful What can I contribute to the world? It's an exploration of how investing in yourself is not a selfish act, but perhaps the most effective and sustainable way to truly make a difference. Because a more capable, more resilient, more financially secure, and more emotionally intelligent you is inherently a more capable, more resilient, more generous, and more impactful contributor to the collective good. Your journey of self-improvement is in essence an investment in humanity itself. Think of a single stone dropped into a still pond. The immediate splash is your personal transformation, the new skill you acquire, the financial freedom you achieve, the inner peace you cultivate. But then, concentric circles begin to spread outwards, wider and wider, touching every edge of the pond. These are the ripples of your influence, your inspiration, and your contribution. The first, most intimate ripple touches your family. Imagine a parent who, after years of financial struggle, decides to invest in their financial literacy. They learn about budgeting, saving, and investing, breaking free from a cycle of debt and scarcity. This transformation isn't confined to their personal bank account. Their children grow up witnessing responsible money habits, learning invaluable lessons that will serve them for a lifetime, potentially breaking a generational curse of financial instability. The stress that once permeated the household due to money worries dissipates, leading to a more harmonious and secure home environment, directly impacting their children's emotional well-being and future prospects. The self-investment of one parent literally rewrites the financial destiny of future generations. Or consider an individual who prioritizes their health, not just for personal longevity, but because they want to be a vibrant, energetic presence for their children and grandchildren. Their commitment to exercise, healthy eating, and stress management models powerful lifestyle choices. Their children see them prioritize well-being, internalizing those habits from an early age, potentially avoiding the chronic health issues that often plague previous generations. This investment in their physical and mental vitality becomes a gift of presence, energy, and a living example of self-care that echoes through their family unit, enriching relationships and empowering healthy choices for decades to come. As the ripples expand, they reach your immediate community and professional circles. An entrepreneur who invests relentlessly in their education, resilience, and personal brand, eventually building a successful business, doesn't just create wealth for themselves. They create jobs, providing livelihoods and opportunities for growth for their employees. They contribute to the local economy, paying taxes that fund public services. Their business might solve a local problem, making life easier or better for countless individuals. Their success story becomes a beacon of possibility for others in their community, demonstrating what's achievable through dedication and self-investment. They might even become a mentor, sharing their hard-won wisdom and insights, formally or informally, lifting others up and accelerating their journeys. The very act of becoming an exemplary professional or a thriving business owner is a profound act of community service, inspiring aspiration and catalyzing economic activity. Think of an employee who meticulously invests in their skills, their emotional intelligence, and their ability to manage time effectively. They become a high-performing, indispensable asset to their organization. This doesn't just benefit their career, it elevates the entire team. Their efficiency inspires colleagues, their problem-solving skills benefit clients, and their positive attitude contributes to a healthier work environment. They might volunteer to lead initiatives, share their knowledge with junior staff, or simply be a reliable, trustworthy presence that others can count on. This consistent demonstration of self-investment doesn't just lead to their promotion. It creates a culture of excellence and mutual support within their workplace, raising the bar for everyone around them. Their growth becomes a catalyst for collective improvement, a powerful example of how one person's commitment to excellence can uplift an entire professional ecosystem. Beyond the immediate circles, the ripples continue to spread, reaching society at large. When countless individuals commit to investing in themselves, in their education, their health, their financial literacy, and their capacity for resilience, the collective impact is transformative. A society where its citizens are well educated is more innovative, more adaptable, and more capable of solving complex global challenges, from climate change to disease. A society where individuals are financially secure is more stable, with less poverty, less crime, and greater opportunities for social mobility. A society where mental and physical health are prioritized is more energetic, more creative, and more compassionate. Each individual act of self-improvement contributes to this larger tapestry of human flourishing. Consider the example of an activist or an advocate. Their initial investment might be in educating themselves deeply about a social injustice or an environmental crisis. They build their knowledge, hone their communication skills, develop their resilience to face opposition, and strategically invest their time to amplify their message. This intense personal investment isn't for selfish gain. It's precisely so they can effectively articulate problems, propose solutions, and mobilize others to create widespread change. Their clarity of vision, born from self-investment, becomes the spark that ignites a movement, leading to policy changes, societal awareness, and ultimately, a more just or sustainable world. Their legacy is not measured in personal wealth, but in the profound systemic improvements they helped bring about. This brings us to the crucial concept of legacy. Legacy is often thought of as what you leave behind after you're gone: money, property, monuments. But a true legacy, an enduring and meaningful one, is less about what you have and more about what you do and who you become. It's the positive change you initiate, the values you instill, the people you uplift, and the standards you set for those who follow. Investing in yourself is the most direct pathway to creating such a legacy, because a life lived with intentionality, growth, and contribution naturally leaves an indelible mark. Your legacy isn't built in grand gestures alone. It's forged in the consistent daily decisions you make to become a better version of yourself. The self-awareness you cultivate allows you to understand your deepest values and align your actions with them. The education you pursue equips you with the tools to solve complex problems and contribute meaningfully to your field. The resilience you develop ensures you persevere through setbacks, serving as a beacon of hope for others facing similar struggles. The social capital you build creates a network of support and collaboration that amplifies your impact far beyond what you could achieve alone. And the personal brand you meticulously craft ensures your message is heard, your values are understood, and your influence is felt. Think of an everyday hero, perhaps a teacher in a challenging school district. They could easily become overwhelmed by the systemic issues and low resources. But imagine this teacher deeply invests in their emotional intelligence, their pedagogical skills, and their resilience. They learn new teaching methods, develop powerful strategies for connecting with difficult students, and create a classroom environment brimming with empathy and encouragement. They might not become a millionaire, but their daily consistent investment in themselves creates a ripple effect on hundreds, even thousands of young lives. They inspire children to believe in themselves, to pursue education, and to break cycles of disadvantage. Their legacy is etched not in stone, but in the transformed futures of their students. They taught by example that growth and investment in oneself are the most powerful tools for overcoming adversity and creating a life of meaning. The power of your example cannot be overstated. When people witness your commitment to growth, your perseverance through challenges, and your unwavering belief in your own potential, it acts as a powerful catalyst for their own aspirations. It's a silent yet profound invitation for them to embark on their own journey of self-investment. For the individual struggling financially, seeing someone from a similar background overcome obstacles through education and hard work provides tangible proof that change is possible. For the wealthy person seeking greater purpose, witnessing others invest in causes they believe in can inspire deeper philanthropic engagement. Your investment in yourself provides a blueprint, a living testament to the ultimate ROI, proving that transformation is not just a theoretical concept, but an attainable reality. Practical advice here is simple yet profound. Live your values visibly. Let your commitment to health, learning, financial prudence, and building meaningful relationships be evident in your daily actions. Be a mentor, formally or informally. Share your knowledge, offer encouragement, and connect people to opportunities. Recognize that every conversation, every interaction is an opportunity to uplift and inspire. Lead by example. The most powerful way to inspire others to grow is to be a living, breathing testament to the power of self-investment. When you are thriving, mentally, physically, financially, and relationally, you become a magnetic force for positive change. Ultimately, investing in yourself is the ultimate act of generosity. It's building the strongest possible version of yourself so that you have more to give, more to contribute, and more to share with the world. It's creating a robust, resilient, and resourceful vessel that can carry not just your own dreams, but also the dreams and aspirations of those around you. Your personal transformation is the genesis of a far grander narrative, a story of impact and legacy that transcends your individual existence. As we move forward, having explored the profound ripple effect of your personal growth, we will begin to synthesize these individual investments into a cohesive framework. The next chapter will focus on the power of environment and systems, how the spaces you inhabit, the habits you cultivate, and the structures you create around you can either propel your growth or subtly undermine it. For even the most committed individual benefits from an optimized ecosystem, and that is precisely where our focus will turn next, building upon the profound impact your empowered self can have on the world. Chapter 10. Action Plan. Your roadmap to self-investment. Have you ever finished reading an inspiring book, felt a surge of motivation, and then, days or weeks later, found yourself exactly where you started, having implemented none of the profound wisdom you absorbed? The gap between knowledge and action is a chasm that swallows countless aspirations. A book, no matter how insightful, is merely a map. Its true value isn't in its carefully drawn lines or its eloquently phrased directions, but in the journey you undertake, the terrain you traverse, and the destinations you ultimately reach. We've spent 9 transformative chapters exploring the multifaceted landscape of investing in yourself, from the bedrock of self-worth to the expansive ripple effect your growth creates in the world. But now the time for passive absorption is over. This chapter is your bridge across that chasm, your action plan, a practical, step-by-step roadmap designed to convert the powerful concepts we've discussed into tangible, life-altering results. It is the culmination of our journey, empowering you to move from understanding why to executing how. The greatest returns on self-investment are not found in grand, sudden gestures, but in the quiet, persistent power of consistent small steps. We often sabotage ourselves by aiming for dramatic overhauls, envisioning a complete transformation overnight. But true and lasting change, much like compounding interest, builds incrementally. Think of a mighty river carving a canyon over millennia. It wasn't a single cataclysmic flood, but the relentless day-after-day flow of water that shaped the landscape. Your personal transformation will follow the same principle. This action plan is built on the philosophy of Kaizen, continuous, incremental improvement. It's about identifying the small, actionable behaviors you can commit to consistently, knowing that these seemingly minor shifts, compounded over time, will lead to monumental changes in your financial standing, your personal well-being, and your overall life trajectory. Your journey of self-investment starts with a simple premise: intentionality. Every facet of your life that you wish to improve requires conscious attention and deliberate action. This isn't about adding more to an already overflowing plate. It's about strategically reallocating your existing resources, your time, your energy, your focus, towards what truly matters. We're going to break down each pillar of self-investment we've explored, offering practical exercises, actionable strategies, and real-world insights to guide your implementation. Let's begin by fortifying the very core of your being, your self-worth and mindset. As we learned in Chapter 1, this is the invisible operating system that dictates your potential. If it's riddled with limiting beliefs, all other investments will struggle to flourish. 1. Practical exercise. The limiting belief excavation. Take out a journal or a blank piece of paper. For 15 minutes, free write on any pervasive thoughts you have about why you can't achieve a particular goal or why you're not good enough. Don't filter, just let them flow. Examples might be, I'm not smart enough to start a business. I'll never get out of debt. I don't deserve success. Once you have a list, choose one belief that resonates most strongly. 2. Actionable strategy. The reframe and affirmation. For that chosen limiting belief, actively reframe it. For example, if it's, I'm not smart enough, reframe it to, I have the capacity to learn anything I set my mind to, and I will seek the knowledge I need. Then create a daily affirmation based on this reframe. Write it down 10 times every morning and speak it aloud to yourself. This isn't magic. It's a conscious effort to rewire your neural pathways, replacing old destructive narratives with empowering ones. 3. Real-world insight. Consider Sarah, who always believed she wasn't a numbers person, hindering her financial growth. After doing this exercise, she reframed it to, I am capable of understanding financial concepts. She started small, learning one new financial term a week, and slowly, her confidence grew, unlocking her ability to budget and invest effectively. Your mindset is a garden. Pull the weeds, plant new seeds. Next, let's turbocharge your intellectual engine. Education beyond schooling. Chapter 2 taught us that lifelong learning is non-negotiable in a fast-changing world. 1. Practical exercise. The learning hour commitment. Identify one skill that would significantly enhance your career, your financial prospects, or your personal fulfillment. This could be anything from coding to public speaking, from digital marketing to a new language. Commit to dedicating just 1 hour, 3 times a week, to learning and practicing this skill. This could involve online courses, YouTube tutorials, reading an industry book, or practicing through a small project. 2. Actionable strategy. Create a skill stack curriculum. Don't just dabble. For your chosen skill, outline a mini curriculum for yourself. What are the foundational concepts? What are the best resources? Books, courses, experts. Set mini milestones, for example. Complete Module 1 by end of month. 3. Real-world insight. David, a factory worker, used his lunch breaks and an hour after work to learn CAD software. Within 2 years, he moved from the factory floor to a design position, tripling his income simply by consistently investing small pockets of time into a high-demand skill. Your brain is your most valuable asset. Feed it continuously. Now let's ensure your vessel is performing at its peak. Health as wealth. As Chapter 3 emphasized, your physical and mental well-being are the foundation of peak performance. 1. Practical exercise. The minimum viable health routine. Forget extreme diets or grueling gym schedules initially. Choose one small, consistent habit for each. Movement. Commit to a 10-minute brisk walk daily, or 5 minutes of bodyweight exercises. Nutrition. Focus on adding one healthy item to a meal. For example, a serving of vegetables, or consciously eliminating one unhealthy item. For example, one sugary drink. Sleep. Aim for a consistent bedtime, even if it's just 15 minutes earlier than usual. 2. Actionable strategy. Stress audit and micro breaks. For 1 week, track when you feel most stressed. Identify patterns. Then integrate 2-minute micro breaks during your workday. Deep breathing, stretching, or simply closing your eyes. These small acts of self-care are deposits into your long-term energy reserves. 3. Real-world insight. Maria, a busy entrepreneur, felt constantly drained. She started with a 15-minute morning walk and a 5-minute mindfulness practice daily. These small investments significantly improved her focus, reduced her stress, and gave her the clarity to make better business decisions, proving that investing in her well-being was an investment in her business's bottom line. Your body is your temple. Consistent maintenance prevents costly repairs. Next, let's expand your reach. Networking and social capital. Chapter 4 illustrated how meaningful relationships open doors money can't buy. 1. Practical exercise. The connection audit and value first. Reach out. List 5-10 people in your existing network whom you genuinely admire or whose careers' lives inspire you. For each person, ask, how can I genuinely offer value to this person without expecting anything in return? This could be sharing an article, making an introduction, or simply checking in. 2. Actionable strategy. The coffee or virtual connection habit. Commit to reaching out to one person from your extended network or a new connection each month for a brief virtual coffee or call. The goal is to learn, to connect, and to offer value, not to sell or ask for favors. 3. Real-world insight. John, a struggling artist, started attending local art events, not to sell his work, but to genuinely appreciate others. He made it a point to connect with one new person per event, asking about their journey. One connection led to an invitation to a group show, which eventually launched his career. Your network is your net worth, but only if you tend to it with genuine care. Now, let's empower your financial future. Financial literacy. Chapter 5 taught us that understanding money is the foundation of independence. 1. Practical exercise. The 30-day money tracker. For the next 30 days, meticulously track every single dollar you spend. Use a spreadsheet, an app, or a simple notebook. The goal is awareness, not judgment. You will likely uncover surprising patterns. 2. Actionable strategy. The 3-bucket budget and automation. Once you know where your money goes, implement a simple budget. Needs 50 to 70%. Housing, food, transport, essential bills. Wants 10 to 30%. Discretionary spending, entertainment, savings and investment, 10 to 20% minimum. This bucket is non-negotiable. Then automate your savings and investment contributions to come directly out of your paycheck or bank account the day you get paid. Pay yourself first is not just advice, it's a command. 3. Real-world insight. Sarah and Tom, a young couple overwhelmed by debt, started by tracking their spending. They cut unnecessary wants, automated a small debt payment, and within a year they had paid off a significant portion of their credit card debt, freeing up capital to start investing in their future. Financial freedom is built on consistent habits, not lottery wins. Moving to your most valuable, non-renewable asset. Time, the most valuable asset. Chapter 6 underscored that how you spend your time dictates your destiny. 1. Practical exercise. The time audit and high-value activity. HVA identification. For 1 week, meticulously track how you spend every 30-minute block of your day. Be brutally honest. Then identify your top 3, 5 high-value activities, tasks, that when completed, produce the most significant results for your goals. 2. Actionable strategy. The deep work block and strategic no. Schedule 60, 90-minute deep work blocks for your HVAs. 3. ICE 4 times a week. During these blocks, turn off all notifications, close irrelevant tabs, and minimize distractions. Simultaneously, identify 1-2 common, low-value requests you usually say yes to, and practice politely declining them or offering an alternative. 3. Real-world insight. Mark, a busy manager, found his days consumed by reactive emails. After his time audit, he identified strategic planning as his HVA. He started scheduling 2 hours of deep work every morning, refusing to check emails during that time. This focus allowed him to develop innovative solutions, leading to a promotion, all while reducing his overall work hours. Your time is your life. Invest it wisely. Now, let's forge your inner armor, resilience, and emotional intelligence. Chapter 7 taught us how to turn setbacks into comebacks. 1. Practical exercise. The emotional check-in journal. Each evening, take 5-10 minutes to reflect on your day. Identify the most significant emotion you felt, and try to understand why you felt it. Did something trigger it? How did you react? What could you have done differently? 2. Actionable strategy. The reframe challenge and support system cultivation. When you face a setback, intentionally ask yourself, what is the lesson here? How can this make me stronger? Instead of dwelling on the negative, seek the growth opportunity. Also, identify 2-3 trusted individuals, friends, mentors, family, who lift you up. Make it a point to genuinely connect with them regularly, creating a robust emotional support system. 3. Real-world insight. Sarah faced a devastating business failure. Instead of quitting, she used her journal to process her emotions, identifying lessons learned. She leaned on her support network, which gave her the courage and perspective to launch a new, more successful venture. Resilience isn't about avoiding falls. It's about learning to get up every single time. Then let's project your unique value. Branding yourself for success. Chapter 8 showed how personal brand attracts opportunities. 1. Practical exercise, the brand audit, and brand statement. Google yourself. What comes up? Is it consistent with how you want to be perceived? Then, craft a concise brand statement. I help who achieve what? By providing how unique value. 2. Actionable strategy. Consistent value sharing. Identify 1-2 platforms where your target audience, potential employers, clients, collaborators, spends their time, for example, LinkedIn, a blog, industry forums. Commit to sharing valuable insights, helpful content, or thoughtful comments consistently, for example, once a week. 3. Real-world insight. A shy student wanted to break into a competitive industry. She started a small blog, sharing her research and insights. This consistent effort built her credibility and attracted the attention of a company looking for interns, ultimately leading to her dream job. Your reputation precedes you. Make sure it's telling the right story. Finally, let's broaden your impact. The ripple effect. Chapter 9 revealed how investing in yourself creates a lasting legacy. 1. Practical exercise, the legacy vision, and micro-mentorship. Take time to imagine, what impact do I want to have on my family, my community, and the world 20, 30, 50 years from now? Write it down. Then, identify one person in your life, a younger colleague, a family member, a community member, who could benefit from a little guidance or support. Offer it. 2. Actionable strategy. Lead by example. Consistently. Live your values visibly. Let your commitment to growth, integrity, and contribution be evident in your daily actions. This is the most powerful form of inspiration. Seek out opportunities, no matter how small, to give back or uplift others. 3. Real-world insight. An accomplished executive, inspired by his own journey, committed to mentoring young professionals in his industry. He dedicated an hour a week to guiding them. His greatest fulfillment came not from his financial success, but from witnessing his mentees achieve their own dreams, carrying his lessons forward. Your greatest legacy is not what you accumulate, but who you become and how you inspire others. As you embark on this journey, you will inevitably encounter resistance. Procrastination will whisper seductive excuses. Fear of failure will try to paralyze you. Overwhelm will threaten to consume you. This is normal. Here are strategies to counter them. 1. Combat procrastination. Use the 5-minute rule. Commit to working on a daunting task for just 5 minutes. Often the hardest part is starting. Once you begin, momentum takes over. 2. Address fear of failure. Reframe failure as feedback. Every failure is a valuable data point, a lesson in what doesn't work. Focus on learning and iterating, not on perfection. The only true failure is failing to try. 3. Conquer. Overwhelm. Start small and focus on one thing. Don't try to implement all these strategies at once. Pick one area, perhaps your mindset, or a 10-minute health routine, and commit to it for 30 days. Once it becomes a habit, layer on the next. Small wins build confidence and momentum. This is not the end of a book. It is the beginning of your transformation. You have journeyed through the core principles of investing in yourself, understanding that your potential is limitless, and your capacity for growth is your ultimate competitive advantage. You've learned that self-worth is the soil, education the seed, health the root, social capital the nourishing water, financial literacy the strong trunk, time the invaluable sunlight, resilience the protective bark, and personal branding the outward bloom. The ripple effect is the ecosystem you create, influencing generations. Now, it is time to take what you have learned and forge your own path. The exercises and strategies provided here are not rigid commandments, but adaptable tools for your unique journey. Pick one, commit to it, and see the change unfold. This isn't about becoming someone else. It's about becoming the most authentic, powerful, and impactful version of you. You possess everything you need within you to start today. The greatest investment you will ever make is in yourself, and the returns, in wealth, fulfillment, and enduring legacy, are truly immeasurable. Your ultimate ROI awaits. Go forth, invest wisely, and live an extraordinary life.